meet the people at RVs Unlimited in Robertsdale, Ed and Jeremy Strickler. I'm Uncle Henry. I've done business with them, and I work with people that have done business with them, and we appreciate the way they treat customers. Here's Jeremy Strickler.
We believe in doing the right thing. We have a mission statement we give our customers. It states in writing what we believe, how we run our business, that we believe in doing unto others as we'd have done unto us. And quality products is a big part of that because we want to treat people the way we'd want to be treated. I don't want to buy a problem. I don't want you to buy one. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that the product I have is a quality product.
RVs Unlimited in Robertsdale. They carry the most respected brand names in new RVs, and their pre-owned inventory is fully inspected. They have a full-service repair center, and you'll never pay a hidden fee. RVs Unlimited on Highway 59 at the Flags in Robertsdale and online at rvsunlimited.com.
The music.
Music. Take the vocals of Bono. Add the guitar of Stevie Ray Vaughan. Stir in the drums of John Bonham. Serving up steaming hot classic rock.
Yeah!
96.1 The Rocket.
From the Mercedes-Benz of Mobile Studios, this is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Psalm 118:24, King James Version. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. New International Version. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! Wake up! Wake up, everybody! Wake up!
Yes, indeed. Wake up. Uncle Henry Show underway here on News Radio 710 WNTM. 99.5 FM, The Jag. A wonderful Thursday morning. If you want to watch the show, you can find it. It's already available on the News Radio 710 WNTM Facebook page with video, and you have someone to look at today. Now, I'm here on the Uncle Henry Show because I'm required to be on a show that has my name on it. Also, John McNeil, McNeil Aaron's Lambert Financial Group, joining me for the duration for numerous hours of broadcast. John McNeil, welcome back.
Good morning, Uncle Henry. You Nappy Award winner, you.
Thank you very much. Great to see you again. Saw you earlier this week for one of your dinners out in West Mobile at Winsel's. So how are things going at McNeil Aaron's Lambert this week?
Everything was pretty busy. With those,
very good.
With those dinner meetings, we have a lot of people coming in to meet with us. Almost everybody who came to the dinner meetings are coming to meet with us.
Somebody asked me about your garden. They wanted to know about your garden through me. So how are things? Because we've had a lot of rain. So how's it going?
Well, my garden is not other than the rose garden. The roses are doing great. They love the rain. But when I had a little setback with the hospital stay for 2 weeks and then another week kind of on bed rest, the garden kind of went away. It kind of rotted from the flooding, and so now that I've gotten better, I've gone out and rounded up my entire garden, getting ready for the fall season.
What is it? So bed rest, was it hard to get back out of bed? Because most of us aren't used to that much bed rest. You had quite a bit.
It was a lot. When you spend 2 weeks on your back in the hospital, and it's hard to get going again. My doctor said, don't plan on getting up Monday morning going to the office. I did.
Yeah.
But I lasted about 45 minutes, and I had to go back home.
Well, and John McNeil, I feel like he's a kindred spirit because he's also an early riser. He's early to bed, early to rise, just like me.
Yes. You were talking about watching Tucker last night?
Yeah, I saw a little bit. I saw about 20 minutes of Tucker Carlson last night before I was driven from frustration over politics, of course. And that's about my bedtime.
Yeah, it is. I like to watch Tucker, but that's right at the point where I've got to, lay my head down.
Okay, very good. This is good. I don't run into many people like John McNeil who have a prudent early to bed, early to rise schedule.
Yes.
Now we're going to look at traffic and weather, and then we're right back in 90 seconds as we continue with a very congenial, civil Uncle Henry show, at least for now. So stick with us.
Time saver traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Well, so far the drive throughout the region is free of any major accidents or breakdowns. Just not much happening at this very early stage. I-10 crossing over the Bayway between the Eastern Shore and the Wallace Tunnel. Causeway in the Bankhead and the trip on I-65 all remain in good shape. Light volume out there and not much trouble at this very early hour. With time saver traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Hello and happy Thursday. I'm Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Your forecast calls for a high of 96 today with partly cloudy skies and only a 20% chance of a thunderstorm. Clear and warm tonight. We're down to 75. Then we're in the mid-90s on Friday before cooler and stormy weather rolls in Saturday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News for this iHeartRadio station.
The worldwide phenomenon is back. Our 2017 iHeartRadio Music Festival, hosted by Ryan Seacrest. September 22nd and 23rd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Over 20 of the greatest performers on the planet converge in Las Vegas for 2 nights. The iHeartRadio Music Festival Capital One cardholder presale is on. Cardholders get access to tickets right sell out.
Your home for traffic and weather on the 9s every morning. This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM The Jag. Here with John McNeil, MALFinancial.com. We'll be getting into all of. I know you're just probably fascinated with all the turmoil that's bubbling up in Washington. We'll get into some of that, of course, as the program goes forward. But closer to home, we keep getting these good, what I consider good economic news stories about Mobile County, Baldwin County, John McNeil. We've had the Amazon and Walmart distribution centers and aerospace. Here's something that with a smaller number of jobs, but it's also cultural as well as jobs. Local 15 is reporting that Cracker Barrel is going to have a new Cracker Barrel in Saraland.
Wow.
175 full and part-time employees in Saraland opening up in 2018.
Do you go to Cracker Barrel in Henry?
I have gone, of course, I've gone to Cracker Barrel. There's, when you get to be my age and people have rocking chairs and fried food.
It's great.
Yes.
And it's always a packed house. There's so many people there all the time. It really is, it's kind of fun to go there.
Well, yes, and they've got the illusion of another time.
Yes.
The illusion of another era. So absolutely. Saraland, North Mobile, a lot of people talk about how there's not as much room to build going west in Mobile, but there's room going north.
That's true.
There's room going
north.
Can't go
south, I guess, unless we go to Gilliard Island or something.
Yeah. So congratulations to Saraland for this major, not just an iconic business there, but 175 full and part-time employees will be hired. And I know we always want the high-tech industry, the high-paying jobs. This is the kind of stuff my family could work at. I'm serious. We've not gone and had a lot of higher education in my family. No offense to my family. They're not listening anyway. They're asleep. So this is something we could do. So you need those kind of jobs just like you need the high-tech jobs.
That's true. And we've got it is exciting what all the things going on, Uncle Henry. You talk about Amazon and Walmart, the distribution centers coming to this area. That's huge.
It really is.
And on top of the Airbus and the expansion we've got going on at Brookley Field or whatever it's called. What do they call it now? Is it Brookley? It'll always be Brookley.
It's still Brookley.
Okay.
Yeah, the character of the town is changing. Another big aspect of the changing character of the town is we're about to have a lot more residential in downtown Mobile with the new apartments that are going to be on Water Street. And then you have that other building in downtown that's going to be turned into condos. You're going to have a lot more people living down there. They're also investing money in the infrastructure around downtown.
It's unbelievable all the things happening. My son, who lived in Panama for the last 4 years, down in working with the Panama Canal, he just moved back to Mobile. He got an apartment down at one of these renovated places. It's absolutely terrific, and it's full of all these millennials.
Well, and it's the I know the place your son is in. Johnny Gwynn is also there, and he's been on the show a lot. I've been in the building, and it's a great place to live.
Yeah, he's on the 7th floor, and his windows look down at the skyline. You can see the cruise ship coming in, and it's really neat.
It really is, and so spaces are limited in downtown Mobile, and they're about to suddenly have all these new opportunities for people to live there. So,
is the apartments on Water Street? Is that where the old Dale Schamp's office used to be?
I'm not exactly sure. I didn't spend a lot of time down there when Dale Schamp's office was there.
I think it is down by the Trade Center.
So it is really so. A lot of great news about Mobile. And that's a good thing. All right, stand by. More show in just a moment here. Stick with us.
Rush Limbaugh.
Hang on, let me check something here real quick.
No distraction can stop the dissemination of truth.
Damn it, screw it.
Today at 11, News Radio 710, WNTM.
We're here with Virginia McNeil O'Brien of McNeil Aarons Lambert Financial Group. Virginia, I've heard you talking about the Second Opinion Service at MAL Financial. Can you tell us about it?
Sure, Uncle Henry. We offer our Second Opinion service with no obligation or cost to your listeners. We ask them to bring in their investment statements. We then take all of their statements and do a deep analysis of all of their investments in their portfolio.
You don't charge a fee for all this?
Uncle Henry, that is something we do not do and haven't done since 1922 when my great-grandfather started our firm. We know that if we do a good and honest job of our Second Opinion service and explain everything in simple and easy-to-understand terms, people will turn to us to help them with their retirement planning needs.
You can call McNeil Aarons Lambert at 251-666-5000 or visit them online at malfinancial.com. Ed and Virginia are investment advisor representatives with AE Wealth Management. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, which is an SEC-registered investment advisor. Angelo's here from Mobile Bay Coins. Angelo, I love the knives I bought from you, those weird French knives.
Isn't that strange?
Why do you carry French knives? How did that happen that you have French knives?
Strangely enough, I have a buddy of mine, a knife buddy in France, Kevin Birchet. It's actually Kevin Berger, if you're American. If he's listening, it's Kevin. He's corrected me on the air before with that one. Opinel is a French brand of knife. It's been around since about 1890, classic French design. Everybody over there carries them and knows what they are. We introduce those to Mobile here at the Coin Shop.
Great knives. I use mine in the kitchen, but you have knives for many purposes.
You could have a pocket knife. You could have a little keychain knife. They even carry an oyster knife. And as you mentioned, they have those great kitchen knives.
An oyster? They have oysters in France?
Well, they call them shellfish over there because the French are very shellfish people.
Okay, the knives are Opinel knives?
Opinel. Classic design, been around for 100 plus.
Mobile Bay Coins, 2204 Government Street in Midtown. Look for Mobile Bay Coins on Facebook.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss. Ken Fisher, founder and executive chairman of Fisher Investments.
We don't sell annuities. We'll never sell annuities. Most annuities have nosebleed level fees, don't do what the customer thinks they do, have tremendous tax problems, are hard to get out of once you're in them, and are extremely confusing.
Don't let the sound of guaranteed income lead you to financial headache. Call now for your free report, Annuity Insights, and find out why legendary money manager Ken Fisher hates annuities. Call 1-800-885-2288 and see what you might be getting into.
Anything you want to do with annuities, there's a better way to do. If you have more than $500,000 to invest, talk to us.
Get your free report, Annuity Insights, and find out the 9 questions every annuity investor should ask. Call now, 1-800-885-2288. That's 1-800-885-2288.
Smart Home America is a local nonprofit set up to help Gulf Coast homeowners learn how to save money. Learn how to shop for homeowners insurance and get the right coverages. Learn how to re-roof your house with a fortified roof that's safer and can increase your property values. And learn how to save all the time by being more energy efficient. You'll find information and resources at smarthomeamerica.org. Build a stronger home, save money, and get the right insurance with smarthomeamerica.org.
7,000 high school students drop out every school day. Stack their desks one atop the other, and it's a pile more than 7.
Hey, good morning to those of you watching on Facebook. We're going to be back on the radio in 1 minute. Just wanted to say good morning to you and thank you for watching on Facebook. And let's see who's watching. Brenton Odom, Clay Lyons, John Sharp, Nita Jeffers. I'm wearing a Nita Jeffers tie. The lady in Bay Minette sent me some ties.
Isn't that nice?
Isn't that wonderful? The generosity. You don't think of Bay Minette as having so many resources, but they do. They even have ties to send out to other communities. So Nita Jeffers, Kurt Kramer, Steve Clevenger, Mickey, just thank you all for watching. Tuskers, James Eubanks, thank you all for watching the Uncle Henry Show this morning on Facebook. And we do have a caller. I don't know who the caller is, but we've got a caller waiting that we'll jump to when we go back on the radio here in about 10 seconds. Stand by. Here we go.
Traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 9s every morning. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. We have news headlines from Fox and from Local 15 coming up in about 10 minutes here with John McNeil, malfinancial.com. Good morning to the caller. Hello there.
Good morning, Henry. It's Jill.
Hey, Jill. Long time no talk to.
I know. I'm just checking in to make sure that y'all know I'm alive and well and hiding in the Orange Beach. I've been under the weather, and I'm coming back. But man, this is a slow process of getting well. But I miss having you on TV, and I tried to get on internet this morning, and I wasn't able to do it. There's a problem with my internet. It's on the pole. But anyway, good morning, John. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning. Ariel's not here this
Ariel
morning.
is flying to Miami.
Oh, okay. Well, good Lord. She didn't call and tell me. I'd have told her what to do.
That's right. You could have given her some good advice from your many years at Braniff.
Well, I got to tell you a really cute, quick story. I don't know what you're all talking about today. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter because you're VIPs over there. But my son and daughter-in-law and my granddaughter are out of the country, and so they had to go to New Orleans and spend the quick night. And before she left, I talked with Millie and I said, "Well, have you checked everything?" She said 5 or 10 times, and she says, "But here's my problem." I said, "What is it?" She said, "Well, my mascara is 4 ounces and not 3, so I can't take it." She's 11.
I hate it when that happens.
Oh yeah, well, John, you know how John knows when he's had daughters, and now he's got that new granddaughter. But I just thought that was priceless. So then she called me from Houston, and she said, "Listen, man, I don't know what happened." She said, "But you know, when we got to we took the van from the hotel in New Orleans to the airport, and we didn't even have to do anything. They just took us right to the airplane." She said, "How did you do that?" And I said, "What makes you think I did it?" She said, "Nana, you can do anything." Isn't that sweet?
That is sweet. That is wonderful.
It is, but it is true. I can do anything. You got that? I'm a woman. I'm an American woman, and I'm an old ex-airline flight attendant. And there is hardly anything that a flight attendant can't do.
And I believe you, of course. Now, and I saw Orange Beach was in the news this week as one of it's considered the #1 city to retire to in the state of Alabama. And one of the reasons in this list analyzing retirement communities, it said that almost 30% of the people in Orange Beach are elderly. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, well, that's the problem. That's why I wanted to be on your show, so we get, or have my own show up there and do something, because we've got to address these elderly issues, but we also have to protect these babies. And we've got a lot of problems in this country, not just in D.C.
You're right. We need to teach the babies to care for and obey the elderly.
Yeah, that's true. But they've got to learn the proper way, and it's all babies. It's not just one race. And we're doing it. I mean, there's some darn good parents, but there isn't a one-on-one parenting.
Right, but Jill, before we go, John McNeil and I need to move forward in the time stream. But before we go, based on your many years of experience, who is going to win the Senate race to replace Jeff Sessions?
Trip Pittman.
Roll Tide.
Trip Pittman?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You're kidding?
I'm kidding. No, to replace Jeff Sessions.
Who do you?
No, I'm not kidding about that. That's who I'm going for.
Yeah, but that's who you're going for. But who do you think is going to win?
Trip.
I like her commitment. I like the way you think, Jill. And Trip is going to be joining us here on the show in the 8 o'clock hour.
That is true. All right, well, Jill, have a wonderful day. Thank you for checking in. It was nice to know that you're still alive and kicking in the paradise for the elderly, Orange Beach, Alabama. Yeah, there was a poll out. There was another poll out yesterday. All of the previous polling that we've heard about that's been reported had Roy Moore in the lead, with Luther Strange at number 2 and Mo Brooks at number 3. With Mo Brooks and Luther Strange kind of close. There was a poll that was released yesterday, or leaked yesterday, and that one had Luther Strange with a slight lead over Roy Moore and then Mo Brooks. So that's the way it keeps. Of course, anything can happen.
But we've got 20 people running.
This is a situation where I'm not even looking at the list because I'm hoping that people will drop out before I have to learn who they are.
Right. Speaking of politics, I just got a voice text message. I don't even know how to do that. From my city councilman, John Williams, said on his way to Purdue University, y'all got a good show going.
Okay, well, now that's kind.
He's listening to us on the radio. Good morning, John.
Thank you very
Drive
much.
Safe.
Thank you very much. He's going out of town. I saw that Fred Richardson, shifting gears to local municipal issues, Fred Richardson is going to go out of town to some city in Mississippi for a train rally. That politicians in the South really want trains. They want these choo-choo trains back for passenger travel. And so there's going to be some rally at some city in Mississippi, and he's representing Mobile to rally for the trains. And I just, with the Trump administration trying to tighten the belt, I just don't see the federal government coming out with the money for these choo-choo
No,
trains.
they're going to be cutting back on the Amtrak subsidies, but it would be nice. I mean, it would be great having Mobile on the line, between New Orleans and Atlanta, or New Orleans and Orlando.
Well, they want to do New Orleans to Orlando,
right?
With things like that. The only train I would take a train to Tuscaloosa for Alabama games. That's really the only trip that I personally would make. But that's just me. All right, we will continue. Stick with us, Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. News next.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
The forgotten men and women of this country. I said it on election night when I called into the Fox News Channel. This is the forgotten man, forgotten woman election. When you talk about those that reflect the views or are able to build an audience in radio and on TV, the only reason that is so is because really we're just kind of like representatives like they're supposed to be. And their inaction, their incapacity is their failure. It's not our failure. Since 2014, I have believed that solutions are dramatically needed for this country. Balancing the budget, not living beyond our means. Anybody gotten that done in Washington, Senator McCain? Is it really talk show and TV show host problems that's never gotten done? For 7 years, this party of yours has promised repealing and replacing Obamacare. 7 years.
Check out the Sean Hannity Radio Show later today, right here.
You know, everybody's got a to-do list, drop everything off, the dry cleaning, pick up some milk. Here's an idea. Let's save hundreds of dollars on car insurance. Now, the good thing is you don't have to drop off anything or pick up anything. All you have to do is go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes, well, you can be saving 15% or more on car insurance. Maybe you need extra money in your pocket. It just may be the most rewarding thing you do today. Now, it's that easy. Save hundreds of dollars on car insurance. Just go to geico.com. Geico.com.
Finding great people to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's time to try ZipRecruiter, where 80% of jobs get a qualified candidate in just one day. How? Using powerful technology, ZipRecruiter matches your job to the right candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Look for more construction work related to the sidewalk project on McGregor Avenue. They've been working between Dolphin and Old Shell. The project began in March, was supposed to end up sometime in late June. It did not, obviously. The road work got pushed back a bit because of the weather. They're now hoping to have everything done by September. No big accidents or breakdowns on the board presently. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Good Thursday morning. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Get ready for a hot Thursday. In fact, we'll call it a high today of 96. The record high today in Mobile is 99. That was set back in 1968. When you factor in the humidity, it will feel like 105, and we have only a 20% chance of a thunderstorm. Again, I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
This report is brought to you by McDonald's.
Introducing McDonald's Happy Annie Hour. Enjoy refreshing deals all day, like soft drinks for $1, small McCafe Delights for $2, and medium Minute Maid slushies for $1.49. Be Happy Annie Hour at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary.
A love triangle leads to deadly violence. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton with this iHeart Radio News Update. A local man is facing a murder charge this morning after deputies say a love triangle turned deadly in Theodore. They say Wesley Bohannon shot and killed Joshua Poole last night at Poole's home on Hunter Point Drive. Investigators believe the two men were involved with the same woman. A Pensacola diver is recovering from a devastating lionfish sting. The injury left Dr. Tom Roberts' leg covered in severe blisters. Roberts was 30 miles offshore Saturday when he was stung. He was rushed to Sacred Heart Hospital. He's expected to make a full recovery. Several Alabama Republicans are standing by Attorney General Jeff Sessions in spite of President Trump's criticism of him. Wednesday, Representative Mo Brooks even said if the president does fire Sessions, he would forfeit his own campaign in the race for Senate. That way, he says, if Sessions is fired, he says Sessions could return to his congressional seat. Mosquito spraying now underway. The Mobile County Health Department telling us trucks will cover 50 routes throughout Mobile County. They've not been able to do that because of heavy rain in the area, but officials tell us now it's time to start spraying again. News breaks while you sleep, so when you wake, we'll catch you up on what's happening along the Gulf Coast and around the world every weekday morning on Local 15 Today. We start at 5 a.m. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton for this iHeart radio station.
News Radio, I'm Rich Dennison. A deadly start to the Ohio State Fair last night when a ride malfunctions, killing at least one person and injuring 7 others.
The fair is about the best things in life, and then tonight with this accident, it becomes a terrible, terrible tragedy.
Ohio Governor John Kasich shutting down all rides as the investigation continues. Officials are working to implement President Trump's new ban on transgender service members.
It isn't clear exactly what will happen to those currently serving. The Pentagon issued a statement saying they'll work with the White House on the president's new guidance and release it in the near future.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. The latest attempt at repealing the Affordable Care Act failing to get enough Republican support in the Senate yesterday. A bipartisan group of 10 governors now urging lawmakers to work together to overhaul Obamacare instead of continuing repeal efforts. Fox News, we report, you decide.
I believe the fondest cars in the world are made right here in Alabama. And that's why Mercedes-Benz of Mobile is expanding our team of talented technicians. If you have the drive and skill it takes to be a Mercedes-Benz technician, then we want you to be part of our family. We're offering excellent pay and benefits along with fully air-conditioned parts and service departments. Mercedes-Benz of Mobile is hiring service technicians. Please call 251-472-BENZ. That's 251-472-BENZ.
First house, last house, mid-south court, that side porch, cul-de-sac, mid-south court, that brick house, townhouse, don't pay court.
And good morning, Facebook. Here we are. Just wanted to take a moment to hear the news headlines before we go back on the radio. Coming up in less than 30 minutes, we're going to get a call from NBC News Radio's Bill Zimfer, who he's going to talk some more about North Korea. Today is the anniversary of the end of the Korean War. And I just saw before I came into work that, John McNeil, the North Koreans somebody's reporting that they may try to shoot a missile, not just shoot a missile today, but maybe try to aim it at us deliberately for the first time. It's as nutty as anything we've heard from North Korea.
Well, the little chubby guy, he's kind of nuts, you know, and it is the anniversary, and they're saying there's a lot of activity around the launch site that they launched last week.
Exactly.
And so I hadn't heard the part about he may be aiming it at us.
Well, that was something I read, and I think it was from one of the British newspapers, one of their websites, is that allegation, which just none of that makes any sense. The last thing any country wants to do really is aim a missile at us, China, or Russia.
They don't have the nuke on top yet, and why would they do that?
I don't know.
Because that would be a war. That would
give the excuse. This morning, right when I woke up, there was a 30-minute special on the BBC where they were discussing what would a Korean War be like.
Well, just look at the MASH reruns.
Okay. That is, fortunately or unfortunately, we've had some advances in technology since MASH.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think.
Well, Klinger couldn't be.
You're right.
As of yesterday,
You're
Klinger
right.
would have to be out.
President, I wonder if Jamie Farr. I'm going to look on Twitter for Jamie Farr.
Is he still alive?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, and see if he has commented. John McNeil, what a brilliant.
I'm pretty sharp sometimes, Uncle Henry. You know.
Jamie Farr. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this before the show goes forward. Yeah, that issue. Well, never mind. Here we go. We're back to radio.
Show only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. You can watch us on the News Radio 710 WNTM Facebook page. Here with John McNeil of McNeil Aarons Lambert Financial Group. In the last segment, we talked about several things. We had Jill on the phone. We talked about, one of the things I mentioned was a rally for trains that Fred Richardson is going to address this rally. It's going to be Sunday at Hancock County Old Railway Depot in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, and it's in support of expansion of rail service in the region. So Fred Richardson will be giving a choo-choo train speech in Mississippi Sunday. Now, I did get an email from a listener on the topic. Let me go to the email inbox. Subject line on the email is Fred Richardson and the train rally. Email reads, "Good morning, Henry and John. Is this town in Mississippi ready for Fred Richardson? If Fred gets all cranked up before participating in the train rally, it could end up being one of the greatest rallies of all time. Go get him, Fred." And that email from the Common Man. You know, that is a good point, Common Man. They may not have, I don't know a lot about Mississippi politics, thank the Lord. They may not have an orator with the skill of Fred Richardson. We remember, for example, he has a propensity to quote great musical numbers like, well, for example,
I think Kenny Rogers in The Gambler told us this: you got to know when to hold them, you got to know when to fold them, and you got to know when to walk away.
And see, there are a lot of great songs about trains.
Yes, trains, mamas, trains, fights. You know, those are, you know.
He could, so that is Sunday. So you, the citizen of Mobile, if you have a favorite train song, you might want to get the lyrics to Fred Richardson before he leaves to go to the Choo Choo Train rally in Mississippi to speak on behalf of trains. But as you pointed out, the government is actually looking to cut back on subsidies for things like that. So I don't know. It probably is going to be quite some time before we have anybody want to invest in something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. You know, and I can understand some subsidy. I'm not a big believer in subsidies from the federal government to things like Amtrak, but it would be nice to have it here. We've got the GM&O building downtown, the hub of transportation.
Well, it would have to be now they've already turned that into something else.
But isn't it a transportation hub? Doesn't the track still run there?
I'm not sure. I know that buses go there.
Well,
maybe you could take a bus to the train.
Okay.
All right, stand by. We'll be right back after traffic and weather, back in 90 seconds.
Time saver traffic from the Dean McCrary Mazda Traffic Center.
Well, it remains a very quiet and uneventful start to the traffic morning all around our region this morning. Traveling I-10 between the Eastern Shore and the Bayway and the Wallace Tunnel, all of that remains in good shape. Same story on the Causeway and the Bankhead. I-65 moving along nicely as well. Quiet morning all around the region, at least for the time being. With time saver traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation. Join the T.J. Martell Foundation in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn more.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Hello and happy Thursday. I'm Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Your forecast calls for a high of 96 today with partly cloudy skies and only a 20% chance of a thunderstorm. Clear and warm tonight. We're down to 75. Then we're in the mid-90s on Friday before cooler and stormy weather rolls in Saturday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News for this iHeartRadio station.
Make Uncle Henry a morning habit. News Radio 710 WNTM.
For more information about contests on this station, go to newsradio710.com/rules.
You're home for Rush every weekday at 11. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, we have Bill Zimfer, NBC News Radio national correspondent, calling in about 10 minutes. Give us an update on the situation with North Korea. Today's the anniversary of the end of the Korean War, and there are all these different reports, news reports of activity at the missile sites, and reports that we'll get into that with Bill Zimfer. They may be marking the occasion with yet another missile launch. Let's talk to a caller. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Hey, good morning there, Uncle Henry.
Solomon, how are you?
Well, I'm holding my own. I've got a little bit of swimmers here in both ears. So some things are a little difficult for me to hear and understand. But I wanted to mention to you, especially since you had that esteemed John McNeil there.
Well, thank you, Solomon. How do you are you a big swimmer? How do you get swimmers here?
Yeah, yeah, you know, I'm an athlete. You know, I try to do about 6 miles a day, you know, in the pool. Yeah.
And he's also, a lot of people don't realize that Solomon is one of the top bobbing for apple champions.
Really?
Yes, in the southern region. So it could have been an apple bobbing incident.
Wow.
But Solomon, you called about what is your comment here?
My most recent experience at purloining political yard signs, and I'd established a whole group of young people trying to help them, you know, develop shrewd political techniques for the future. And we just we purloined John Williams' yard sign. You know, he's running for city council there. We purloined his yard sign right from his front yard, and of course we put it in my front yard. But and I sent him an email, confessed to the whole crime, and he's forgiven me for it. So it's you know, encourageable.
All right. Well, Solomon, thank you for that story, the best thing about your story is that you confessed, because politicians, when their yard signs are stolen, even though it's just a yard sign, they'll obsess over it. And they will boil with anger and rage, and it will simmer in their hearts. And so you did him a great service by at least admitting it so that he can let that be off his mind. Solomon, thank you for your phone call. That's the first, with all this political stuff going on, That's the first call about a stolen yard sign that I've had in many, many months. And usually every time there's election, somebody calls in with complaints about their yard signs being stolen.
Well, Solomon, you know, I had a call from John Williams last week, and we were just talking. He said, by the way, do you mind if I put a sign in your yard, you know? I said, no, not at all. Well, the next day, sometime in the middle of the night, a yard sign showed up in my yard. And so I appreciate it, John. I didn't have to go steal it. John pulled up in his car and put a sign in my yard. So.
Okay, well, that's the service that you hope to get when you allow a sign in your yard.
You can count on your councilman. There you go.
I have noticed in the part, I don't have a wide area that I travel in, thank goodness. But in my area, I'm seeing lots and lots of yard signs.
A lot of Sandy Stimson signs.
There are a lot of signs out, more so than I've noticed in quite some time. People, the municipal elections really getting a lot more passion than many of the other elections. All right, look. Words from our sponsors. You're going to hear from our sponsors, traffic and weather. And when we come back, we'll have Bill Zimfer, NBC News Radio. We're going to talk about North Korea. What are they up to?
Today at 2, Sean Hannity.
How much is a condom?
T. Can we talk about health care?
Options.
There we go.
This size.
Oh, boy.
This flavor.
News Radio 710, WNTM.
If you're ready for a security system, call TSI Alarms and Audio. They offer short-term agreements and low monitoring rates. Call 251-662-0500 or visit online at thetsigroup.com.
First house, last house, mid-south, court that side, porch, cul-de-sac, mid-south, court that brick house, townhouse, don't pink, court that dockside, poolside, outside, court that corner store, warehouse, mama's house, court that.
Tired of painting your home every 4 to 5 years? This is Kevin Mamahat, president of Mid-South Coatings. Better than paint, more durable than latex. Mid-South Coatings is the ultimate alternative to traditional paint. And with our lifetime warranty, you'll never have to paint your home again, guaranteed. If you live anywhere in the Gulf South, call for a free estimate. And since Mid-South Coatings is much thicker than paint, your home will look like it's just been freshly painted forever. So before you paint your home with traditional paint or any product, call Mid-South Coatings for a free estimate.
Call 251-272-4440. 272-4440. That's 272-4440.
Red, white, navy blue, any color of the net, anywhere you're at, coat this, Mid-South, coat that.
Is old Bessie spending more time in the shop than on the road? Is she having a hard time keeping up with your buddies when she does get out? Do you feel more beaten than refreshed after riding? Now just might be the time to trade her in. Mobile Bay Harley-Davidson is offering you the same monthly payment when you trade your bike in towards a new one of the same model family. That's right. New Harley, same payments. Stop in to see them at 3260 Pleasant Valley Road. And remember, at Mobile Bay Harley, there's always a party.
Hey, this is Uncle Henry. I want to tell you about a dentist I found in Mobile named H. Radcliffe Brown, Jr. When I moved back to town, I asked people if they could recommend a dentist, and they recommended Radcliffe Brown. I had a cracked tooth. I needed a crown on it. I went to see Dr. Brown at his office, 1501 University Boulevard, and he had just remodeled with state-of-the-art technology. So he was able to make the crown for me while I waited. And here we are, Bill. I believe we have Bill Zimfer on the line. Bill, please stand by. We're still in the break. We're going to rejoin the radio listener here in just a moment. So, Bill Zimfer, please stand by as we're anxious to find out about missiles today. Stand by. Call him at 251-342-5636. While his website is under construction, you can look for him on Facebook. Look for H. Radcliffe Brown, Jr., Dentist on Facebook.
And now a look back at this week in history.
Bugs Bunny made his official debut in the Warner Brothers cartoon A Wild Hare. This week in 1940, the lines, "Be very, very quiet, I'm hunting wabbits," and "Me, what's up, Doc?" were also introduced in this cartoon. And Congress hereby declares it is the policy of the United States that activities in space should be devoted to peaceful purposes for the benefit of all mankind. This week in 1958, that line was part of the National Aeronautics and Space Act, signed by President Dwight Eisenhower. It led to the creation of NASA. Odessa. This week in 1777, a French nobleman, the Marquis de Lafayette, was made a major general in the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War. This week in 1981, before an estimated worldwide television audience of 750 million people, England's Prince Charles married Lady Diana Spencer at St. Paul's Cathedral in London.
That's your look back at This Week in History.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Well, it remains a very quiet and uneventful start to the traffic morning all around our region this morning. Traveling I-10 between the Eastern Shore, the Bayway and the Wallace Tunnel, all of that remains in good shape. Same story on the Causeway and the Bankhead. I-65 moving along nicely as well. Quiet morning all around the region, at least for the time being. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Unbound.org. There's a girl in El Salvador who dreams of becoming an engineer. There's an elder in Uganda who dreams of having a community to call his own. No two dreams are the same. Help one person achieve theirs at Unbound.org.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Hello, I'm Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Your forecast calls for a hot day today. 96 is our high, 99 is the record. That was set back in 1968. Partly cloudy skies and only a slim chance of a thunderstorm. Should be a quiet night in the mid-70s, and it's hot again on Friday, middle 90s, before cooler, stormy weather moves in Saturday. I'm Jake Dunn for this iHeartRadio station.
We love Nick Saban. Just wanted to get that out of the way. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Welcome back. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710 WNTM, 99.5 FM, The Jag. Also, you can watch on the News Radio 710 WNTM Facebook page and live on the Uncle Henry Show YouTube channel. John McNeil is here, malfinancial.com.
Good morning.
Bill Zimfer of NBC News Radio, thank you so much for holding. Bill, good morning.
No problem. Good morning, Uncle Henry.
All right, so I knew you were going to be calling in today to talk about North Korea and the anniversary of the end of the Korean War. And I looked and I saw that there are all these brand new stories with speculation. People are watching North Korea, and there's speculation that they might shoot a missile today to mark the occasion.
Yeah, they love to mark these anniversaries with some type of action, and the speculation was that they may conduct another missile test today of an ICBM. This one maybe to test a reentry vehicle for a nuclear warhead, and that would be bad news. But I'm happy to report that so far, checking reports coming out of Japan, South Korea, and China, there has been no indication of missile activity today in North Korea, although sometimes these reports can be delayed a little bit simply because it's tough to monitor what's going on in North Korea. But no definitive word today on any missile activity.
Bill Zimfer, I saw one report, and I think it was from a South Korean news service, I'm not sure though, where they were speculating that today might be the day that North Korea actually tries to aim at us. Did I see that correctly? Did you hear that too?
Yeah, there was a report out that North Korea would actually attempt a strike today. I think that probably was way overblown. Hopefully it will be way overblown, and most would agree that they are not ready at this point to actually try to pull something like that off. But everybody is on alert. There's no doubt about that. As a matter of fact, yesterday when President Trump was releasing all of his tweets about the transgender issue in the military, he caused some jitters at the Pentagon because we all know about the limitations of Twitter. That you can only, I don't even know what it is, 140 characters at a time or something.
Yeah.
After the president's first tweet, he didn't say what he was going to do. All he said, he consulted with generals and military experts. He said, please be advised, the U.S. government will not accept or allow, and it ended there. And there was a 9-minute gap until the next tweet. And in that 9 minutes, people at the Pentagon were thinking, oh, my gosh, he may be doing something with North Korea here. So there were some jittery moments and some tense moments at the Pentagon yesterday.
So of course, we're upset with all these shooting off missiles again, and then we have that overblown news report about maybe being aimed at. Mm-hmm. What about, are other countries also as concerned about stuff today? Now, yesterday you and I talked about Japan. It occurred to me that they're the one country that knows what it's like to be hit by an A-bomb. They've got to be incredibly nervous on days like today.
Absolutely. Japan is one of the countries that is really intensely monitoring what's going on in North Korea. Of course, South Korea is right there. Now, other countries as well. Australia now has gotten involved in this because they are within range of an ICBM. And Australia's foreign minister came out today and again called out China, saying that China needs to do more to put the clamps on North Korea. The British foreign minister also came out today with a similar comment. So this is what it might take, Henry, is that other countries may have to start really putting pressure on China to get something done in North Korea, because President Trump continues to ruffle feathers because, he says we need cooperation from China, but at the same time is putting sanctions on China, and that is wearing a little bit thin.
Bill Zimfer, I know you need to run, and I know you may not know the answer to this question, but I don't understand why China's the one country that can actually have an effect, because they're the biggest trading partner with North Korea. They can have enormous influence. Why do they not have the will to exert some type of control over North Korea?
The only thing that's a good question, Henry, and the only thing I can think of is that they feel that at some point it could affect the Chinese economy. And the number one issue is oil. China just is a big supplier of oil to North Korea. They are also one of North Korea's biggest customers as far as things go. And my only thought would be that China could believe that it could affect their economy to a point that they don't want to go there.
All right. Bill Zimfer, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
There he goes, Bill Zimfer, NBC News Radio. And I also, yesterday when I was, by the way, the president has tweeted already this morning, but it was about the New York Times and Fox and Friends. So he's up, he's tweeting, and I'll be watching as we go forward. But John McNeil, he mentioned that yesterday he did tweet that after consulting with generals, he had decided that the U.S. would not accept, and then ... and there was a 9-minute gap.
Yeah.
And I also, when I saw that tweet, I thought, okay, here we go with Korea. Yeah. That was the natural thing. And I was completely caught off guard, but like a lot of people, over the whole transgender situation. But North Korea, I don't understand why China can really pull the strings if they want to. And for some reason, they feel like it's in their advantage to not at this point.
Well, they know that North Korea, if they develop these missiles and they have the nukes, nuclear capability, North Korea is not going to strike China. They know that because there's 1 million Chinese infantrymen ready to move in. They can take them in a day. So it's not as imminent to them.
It's not an existential threat to them.
No, it's not. It gets back to what Bill Zimmer was saying. It's trade and where do we sell our oil? You know, we'll buy their oil. I'd rather buy oil from China than from the Middle East, personally. Now, somebody will say I'm colluding with the Chinese.
Well, and it's a short term. You know, they're looking to ban the internal combustion engine in the next few decades in Great Britain. So we only may need oil for manufacturing for your granddaughter. She may not have to buy gas. All the oil might be just for manufacturing purposes. So we may not need to buy as much oil.
Yeah, right.
I didn't have the camera on John McNeil for that facial expression. John McNeil, we lived during the time of the internal combustion engine, and I liked it.
I did too. Muscle cars.
More show after the news, traffic, and weather.
iHeartRadio Music Festival. Capital One cardholder presale is on. Cardholders, get access to tickets right now. Tickets on sale to the general public tomorrow at 12 p.m. Go to iHeartRadio.com/Capital One before they sell out.
Something massive has happened to the iHeartRadio app. We listen to your ideas and suggestions. Everything you had to tell us about how we could improve your listening experience. And the result is the newly designed iHeartRadio app. It's not an update, but a complete upgrade with one goal in mind: getting you closer to the music you love.
Hey, this is Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue on iHeartRadio.
Download and open the new iHeartRadio app today.
First house, last house, Mid-South, coat that side porch, cul-de-sac, Mid-South, coat that brick house, townhouse, don't pay, coat that dockside, poolside, outside, coat that corner store, warehouse, mama's house, coat that.
Tired of painting your home every 4 to 5 years? This is Kevin Mamahat, president of Mid-South Coatings. Better than paint, more durable than latex. Mid-South Coatings is the ultimate alternative to traditional paint. And with our lifetime warranty, you'll never have to paint your home again, guaranteed. If you live anywhere in the Gulf South, call for a free estimate. And since Mid-South Coatings is much thicker than paint, your home will look like it's just been freshly painted forever. So before you paint your home with traditional paint or any product, call Mid-South Coatings for a free estimate.
Call 251-272-4440. 272-4440. That's 272-4440.
Red, white, black, and blue, any color of the net, anywhere you're at, coat this, Mid-South, coat that.
Hey, girl. I'm the sports station down the dial. I know you're with this station right now, and I respect that, but you know where to find me.
No idea.
Oh, you don't? Well, okay, I'll just tell you. I'm in 99.5 on the FM dial. My name's the Jag.
Great.
Your home for Uncle Henry every morning at 5. News Radio 710 WNTM Mobile, an iHeart radio station. 99.9 WMXC HD3 Mobile. 710 Time Saver Traffic from the Dean McCrary Volvo Traffic Center.
Well, the drive this morning has been very quiet and uneventful without much to get in your way, at least in this early part of it. Traveling on I-10, crossing the Bayway, the Escambia Bay Bridge in Pensacola, a 3-mile up from Gulf Breeze. All of that remains in good shape. A few more of you now hitting the roadways as we move along, but remains a pretty quiet drive throughout the area. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Good Thursday morning. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Get ready for a hot Thursday. In fact, we'll call it a high today of 96. The record high today in Mobile is 99. That was set back in 1968. When you factor in the humidity, it will feel like 105, and we have only a 20% chance of a thunderstorm. Again, I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
The fireball becomes the firefall. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. A thrill ride turns deadly on the first day of the Ohio State Fair.
The dude hit the ground. He wasn't breathing.
She's so distraught you can barely hear her say a guy wasn't breathing after she saw him and others fall to the ground. He was killed. 3 were critically injured.
Last night, something went horribly wrong on the Fireball, a ride which sends passengers spinning and swinging 40 feet into the air. There is cell phone video of the exact moment the ride broke apart. Mid-swing, it crashes into something and a row of seats flies off.
Stacey Fry with Fox 8 TV at the fair. The governor has ordered all rides shut down today for safety checks. Another Republican Obamacare repeal plan falls short at the Senate. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, 7 Republicans voted against a plan to repeal most of the Affordable Care Act with a 2-year window for replacement. Now lawmakers are considering a so-called skinny bill that would scrap the individual mandate and some taxes. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer argued against that idea.
It makes premiums far higher than they are today.
Republican Mike Round says even if a skinny bill passes, he believes
the end result is still going to be a repeal and replace product.
Expect senators to work late into the night, adding amendments in a session called a vote-a-rama. Dave?
Rachel, the Pentagon says it will work with the White House, implementing a ban on transgender people in the military, which President Trump announced in 3 tweets.
It is an absolute disgrace. It is a shame. It is unpatriotic, and it is cowardly.
Merrick Haisling with the National Center for Transgender Equality. Amid protests in New York and San Francisco, the president cites tremendous medical costs and disruption. Michael Jackson's estate ordered to pay up. Quincy Jones produced Thriller and Billie Jean, and a California jury has decided to award him more than $9 million in royalties because those songs were used in the concert film This Is It. A Jackson lawyer says they'll appeal. Fox News, fair and balanced.
A love triangle leads to deadly violence. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton with this iHeartRadio news update. A local man is facing a murder charge this morning after deputies say a love triangle turned deadly in Theodore. They say Wesley Bohannon shot and killed Joshua Poole last night at Poole's home on Hunter Point Drive. Investigators believe the two men were involved with the same woman. A Pensacola diver is recovering from a devastating lionfish sting. The injury left Dr. Tom Roberts' leg covered in severe blisters. Roberts was 30 miles offshore Saturday when he was stung. He was rushed to Sacred Heart Hospital. He's expected to make a full recovery. Several Alabama Republicans are standing by Attorney General Jeff Sessions in spite of President Trump's criticism of him. Wednesday, Representative Mo Brooks even said if the president does fire Sessions, he would forfeit his own campaign in the race for Senate. That way, he says, if Sessions is fired, he says Sessions could return to his congressional seat. Mosquito spraying now underway. The Mobile County Health Department telling us trucks will cover 50 routes throughout Mobile County. They've not been able to do that because of the heavy rain in the area, but officials tell us now it's time to start spraying again. News breaks while you sleep, so when you wake, we'll catch you up on what's happening along the Gulf Coast and around the world every weekday morning on Local 15 Today. We start at 5 a.m. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton for this iHeartRadio station.
Bras Across the Causeway is coming October the 1st to Battleship Park, and we're literally going to try to get bras to stretch across the 7 miles. Kathy Smith is here from Bayside Insurance. She is heading it up. What do you need bras, right?
We need bras. We're collecting 15,000 bras. We need sponsorships, $25 to $25,000 or something for everyone. We're going to have a 5K and a Tata Taste-Off.
That's restaurants from around the area and people sampling their food, right?
Yes.
To participate or drop off the bras, where do they go?
We have a Facebook page, Bras Across the Causeway.
From the Mercedes-Benz of Mobile Studios, this is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM The Jag. You can also watch on the News Radio 710 WNTM Facebook page. Here this morning with John McNeil, MALFinancial.com. John McNeil, good morning to you.
Good morning, Uncle Henry. So glad to be here again with you in your bright Easter yellow jacket you've got on there.
Well, now, it's not necessarily an Easter yellow.
No, it's July, beginning of August, coming up on the height of hurricane season. It's great.
You were telling me, you gave me the wonderful service this morning of telling me how many days until kickoff for Alabama football, and we're now under 40.
Yeah, we're at 37 days. I forget how many minutes, and, you know, I'll pull up my little clock there. I got it somewhere.
Oh, you've got the clock.
I've got the clock.
Okay, very good.
37 days, 13 hours, 12 minutes, and 5 seconds till kickoff.
Okay. Fantastic. Roll Tide, roll. All right, here we are. We're here for numerous hours on the Uncle Henry Show. I've been watching the president's tweets this morning, and he's tweeted already. His tweet was about the New York Times and Fox and Friends. So far, no Jeff Sessions tweets. Yes, I am looking for Jeff Sessions tweets. Yesterday, I was telling you how upset I was about, because Jeff Sessions has publicly spoken good of my mother during times of turmoil when people were prank calling about my mother. So I'm going to have Jeff Sessions back because he has defended my mother publicly. Now, last night, Tucker Carlson on his show interviewed the vice president about Jeff Sessions, and the vice president seemed to say that these tweets are actually good. These tweets where the president is attacking Jeff Sessions are good, that this is a good quality. Let me see if I can share that clip with you.
The Washington way is to talk behind people's backs, but that's not President Donald Trump's approach. One of the great things about this president is you always know where you stand.
All right. So it's a great thing. It's great that he's attacking Jeff Sessions on Twitter and in these interviews and these press conferences. So that's the spin from the vice president, that it's great. At least you know. At least you know. Yesterday, Mo Brooks came out with a press release, John McNeil, where he was saying that he thought that all the Republicans should drop out of the Senate run so that Jeff Sessions could end up being appointed back to the Senate?
No, Jeff Sessions needs to stay as the Attorney General. He's not going to, unless Trump fires him, I don't see Jeff Sessions buckling under the pressure.
Right.
He's just not going to do it.
No.
And again, like you and I were talking about off the air, I'm hoping that this is more of a smokescreen from Donald Trump.
People have expressed that desire. They sure wish it was a smokescreen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Only time will tell.
As the president said that we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. Okay.
All right. There's more to come.
Really? More to come. Good.
Yeah. We do. We have numerous hours to remain on the air. So look, we're going to look at the traffic and the weather, and then we're right back with more Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Well, right now things are moving along very well as the sun comes up all around the region this morning, free of any big accidents or breakdowns on the board. I-10 crossing over the Bayway through the Wallace Tunnel remains in good shape this morning. Road work continues on County Road 99 over Pine Barren Creek in Escambia County. Existing bridge is being replaced with a new one, although traffic is being maintained during the work, which is expected to wrap up during the early part of next year. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation. Join the T.J. Martell Foundation in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn more.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Hello and happy Thursday. I'm Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Your forecast calls for a high of 96 today with partly cloudy skies and only a 20% chance of a thunderstorm. Clear and warm tonight. We're down to 75. Then we're in the mid-90s on Friday before cooler and stormy weather rolls in Saturday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News for this iHeart radio station.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. There's a girl in El Salvador who dreams of becoming an engineer. There's an elder in Uganda who dreams of having a community to call his own. No two dreams are the same. Help one person achieve theirs at unbound.org.
This morning at 9, Ask the Expert. Then Rush at 11. Right now, it's Uncle Henry on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Here with John McNeil, malfinancial.com.
Good morning.
Email address unclehenry@gmail.com. That's unclehenry@gmail.com. Local 15 was reporting that the city of Fairhope has come out with a shocking new policy, a don't feed the ducks policy.
Don't feed the ducks.
A don't feed the ducks policy. They have had, and if you've ever gone to the municipal beaches over there, there's a big duck feeding community. And I guess too many. Now, you live around wildlife. Have you ever had a duck problem?
No, we have the geese problem. We have geese that come up to the wharf and
it's an actual problem?
No, it's not. It's very nice, as a matter of fact. But they do come up. They make a bunch of noise. We do have ducks every now and again that like get in our boat and try to nest or make a big mess. But we like them. It's pretty to watch. It's like the manatees that swim up to the wharf. Manatees and the ducks and the geese and the alligators. This time of year, alligators are everywhere.
Well, the city of Fairhope now is saying for the health of the wild birds and the cleanliness of the town, please do not feed the wild fowl at the parks and the beach. They also note in a Facebook post, while we understand the picturesque fun of children, parents, and grandparents spending time together feeding these wild birds, it has unfortunately encouraged overpopulation. So this is good. I wonder about this. This is I've heard tale over the years of people becoming emotionally attached to the birds.
Yeah, but crispy duck is good.
Now, see, that's the way I think, and people don't like to hear that. They go and they see the Disney movies. They think the animals are talking and have all these emotions.
Yeah,
and they don't want to think of the duck for what it was probably intended for, which was for the food chain.
Right. Very good. Crispy duck, China doll, good stuff.
Okay, well, so they are banning feeding the wild fowl in Fairhope. It'll be interesting to see how that's enforced and what kind of emotional confrontations may happen where people weep when they're unable to throw the bread to the birds.
Have you been to Owa yet, Uncle Henry?
I have not been to Owa. When are you going?
Well, my wife and I were talking about going last weekend, but it's just too hot. I think we'll wait till November. I want to go see it. I think it sounds like it's a pretty neat place.
We'll certainly want to see it. Are you a roller coaster person?
No, I don't.
Really?
No. When the kids were small, we'd go down to Disney World, and they would make us get on those things, and I'm just not.
Make you?
Yeah, they'd make us. Yeah, so we may ride the Rolling Thunder or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, you strike me as someone. When I got to see you at an Alabama game, you really struck me as a fun-loving person, as someone who enjoyed having just pure, innocent fun.
Yes.
And that, to me, you would be just at home in an amusement park.
That's my alternative life when I get to the Alabama. When I get to Bryant-Denny Stadium, it's not really me.
Okay, that's not really you. Okay.
Are you really you? I mean, come on.
That's an outstanding question to go to break on. We will continue. More in a moment, The Uncle Henry Show. We're here with John McNeil of McNeil Aaron's Lambert Financial Group. John, CD rates at the bank today are lower than any time in history. Can MAL Financial help our listeners earn more in interest?
Uncle Henry, I think so. Rates are very low, and a lot of people still have a substantial amount of money in bank CDs, savings accounts, and money markets. At MAL Financial, we look to see if a short-term fixed annuity will fit their plan. Right now, rates for a 3-year annuity are at 2.1%, 4 years is 2.4%, and 5 years is at 3.4%. Compared to bank rates, this could be a difference of as much as 183% more interest. In addition, the interest is tax deferred. You don't pay taxes on the money until you withdraw it. If you want to earn substantially more interest and pay less taxes, give us a call.
That's 251-666-5000 or online, malfinancial.com.
Listen to Mo Brooks, a never-Trump politician personally attacking Donald Trump.
I don't think you can trust Donald Trump with anything he says. Donald Trump is the likely loser in that he has alienated so many people in Republican Party ranks through his callous insults. Donald Trump, one candidate that is so belittling, so insulting. I was just asked if I'm going to endorse Donald Trump after things unfold with Donald Trump having this so-called insurmountable lead. And I said, no, I'm not. Donald Trump voters, 12 to 18 months from now, they're going to regret their votes for Donald Trump.
A month before the election, Talk Radio asked Mo Brooks if he was voting for Trump. Brooks responded, I didn't say that.
That means you're going to vote for Donald Trump.
I didn't say that.
Days before the election, Mo Brooks even called Donald Trump evil. Brooks called our president evil. 35-year career politician Mo Brooks, a never-Trump Washington insider. Paid for by Strange for Senate.
I'm Luther Strange, candidate for U.S. Senate. I approve this message.
Take care of your skin. See Dr. Thomas Bender at Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center. Dr. Bender sees patients in Mobile, Daphne, and Bay Minette. Find out more online at advanceddermclinic.com.
When was the last time you walked out of a mattress store feeling confident about your purchase? These places exist for one reason, for a highly trained, commission-driven salesperson to dupe you into spending way too much money on a mattress. Hi, my name is Neil, and I'm one of the co-founders of Casper. Casper was created with a single goal in mind: deliver a great night's sleep at an incredible value. So we hired a team of engineers and designers to develop a single perfect mattress that sleeps cool and has just the right sink and bounce. We sell the Casper mattress online, skipping the markups of mattress stores, and we let you try it out in your own home for 100 nights risk-free. In less than 3 years, we've rapidly become the internet's favorite mattress. In fact, it now has more than 20,000 reviews with an average of 4.8 stars. Try us out today.
Simply go to Casper.com and use code RESTED to get $50 towards your mattress purchase. Terms and conditions apply. That's gift code RESTED at Casper.com for $50 towards your mattress purchase. Casper.com. Thanks for checking us out.
The 1,200,000 women and men of Rotary have accomplished extraordinary things. They've taught millions of people to read, worked toward world peace, and have nearly eradicated a crippling childhood disease from the face of the planet. But each of those 1,200,000 women and men know they could accomplish so much more if only they were 1,200,001. Find out what an impact one person can make. Learn about Rotary at Rotary.org.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Dean McCrary Audi Traffic Center.
Well, right now things are moving along very well as the sun comes up all around the region this morning, free of any big accidents or breakdowns on the board. I-10 crossing over the Bayway through the Wallace Tunnel remains in good shape this morning. Road work continues on County Road 99 over Pine Barren Creek in Escambia County. Existing bridge is being replaced with a new one, although traffic is being maintained during the work, which is expected to wrap up during the early part of next year. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation. Join the T.J. Martell Foundation in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn more.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Hello, I'm Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Your forecast calls for a hot day today. 96 is our high, 99 is the record. That was set back in 1968. Partly cloudy skies and only a slim chance of a thunderstorm. Should be a quiet night in the mid-70s, and it's hot again on Friday, middle 90s, before cooler, stormy weather moves in Saturday. I'm Jake Dunn for this iHeart Radio station.
Roll Tide. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. We have news headlines from Fox, news from Local 15's Darwin coming up in about 10 minutes. Here with John McNeil of McNeil Aarons Lambert Financial Group. Let me go to the email inbox. I do have an email on a very important topic. Subject line on the email is Roll Tide Roll Countdown. Email reads, John McNeil whipped out the countdown till kickoff for Bama. Where did he get that precise info? Is there an app for that? Please share Roll Tide. And that email from Pete.
Pete, 37 days, 13 hours, 10 minutes, and 46 seconds till kickoff. You can go to rolltide.com, and on their open page, their front page, it's got the countdown to kickoff, Alabama versus Florida State, and you can then take that and have it as your screensaver if you want to.
So rolltide.com.
Rolltide.com.
So isn't this wonderful? This is news you can use.
Yes.
You tune in, you hear a lot of opinion on this show.
Go to rolltide.com and then click on the, you can look at all the different athletic, women's softball, soccer, rowing, all this type of stuff. Click on football and the football page will pop up, gives you the schedule, kickoff times, and the countdown.
Rolltide.com. Thank you. What a wonderful service you've provided, Pete, and many others.
Information.
Because as the news, I've been very frustrated by the news this week.
And this is good news.
And this is good news. This is something to help calm you down when you get all whipped up the way I've been getting whipped up watching the news.
Wow.
I've been getting, this stuff
frazzled.
Stuff about Jeff Sessions really has gotten to me.
Yeah.
I have not liked it. I mentioned to you this morning there was Local 15 had a poll on their website of are you Team Trump or are you Team Sessions, which I just wish it could be you're on both teams.
Right. Why can't they be? Let's all get along. Let's share a Coca-Cola.
Oh, John McNeil mentioned Coca-Cola. Share a Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And Coca-Cola's in the news today, in business news.
Oh, what'd they do?
Well, they've got a product called Coke Zero. that's like Coke with zero in it.
Yeah.
With artificially sweetened,
Yeah.
allegedly nothing bad in it.
No.
It's not doing well, so they're going to stop making it.
Okay.
And they're going to come out with a new product called Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
Why?
Look, it's all about the money. It's all about selling these Coca-Colas.
But you remember when they tried to change the formula and it didn't work?
Yes, that was infamous. New Coke is infamous. But they're coming out with Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, and they claim it's going to be it'll be kind of like Coke Zero, but still taste maybe just a little bit more like actual real Coca-Cola.
Well, we have at our office, when people come by, if they want Coke or Sprite or coffee or tea or whatever, but we've got Coke in the bottle. And you can get Coke in the bottle at certain places that's actually not made in the United States. It's made south of the border.
Right.
And it's got like 3 times the sugar that the Cokes around here have.
It's the old
It's
formula.
real sugar. Yeah, it's the real stuff.
Cane sugar.
Yeah. Really, it's hard to drink a whole one, but if you really feel it, you can do it.
So now, since we're on business news, Coca-Cola getting rid of Coke Zero. In other business news, I saw this really weird story. We've got all these states that have legalized dope smoking for either medicinal or recreational use, and it's federally you're not supposed to do that. And so the people that are selling this dope have nowhere to put the money.
Yeah,
they've got nowhere to put the money, because banks are afraid that if they deal with them, then the federal government's going to come in and attack the bank. So Los Angeles and some other cities are thinking of starting municipal banks to handle the dope money.
Which would not be part of the FDIC.
And they would use the dope money to fund affordable housing and other things like that. Isn't this nuts?
This is ridiculous. So the dope smokers are spending all their money on dope. We're going to put it in a municipal bank, and then the city or municipality is going to build housing for all the people who don't have money because they spend it on the dope. Why not give it to the police and enforce the federal laws? Come on, people. This is
I read some Los Angeles politician was talking about how these people are making millions on selling the dope, and they're having to get all these weapons and take their money home and put it in like vaults and under their houses, and it's creating this incredible,
this is ridiculous,
strange situation, and they want to help them. They want the continued tax money, of course.
Was it Nevada or Colorado that had a state emergency?
It was Nevada.
Nevada, they ran a state emergency. Now, if the governor of Alabama declares a state of emergency when we have a hurricane or a tornado, but they declare a state of emergency because they're running low on dope?
They ran low on it. That was a headline I thought I would never read.
Yeah.
Is emergency shortage. But that is, I guess, something in the world of business that people are going to be looking at, are on the West Coast, municipal banks to handle the dope money.
Wow.
All right, look, we are going to get all kind of news headlines. In fact, we have business news next and more. Stick with us on the Uncle Henry Show.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Verizon has returned full force to wireless subscriber growth with 614,000 customer additions in the second quarter. Analysts had been projecting subscriber growth of almost 55,000 on average. Meanwhile, quarterly earnings with some adjustments rose to 96 cents a share, and that matched average estimates. Sales were little changed from a year earlier at $30.5 billion. That beat analyst projections. Comcast also beat estimates in the latest quarter, thanks in large part to its film division. The theme park area also did well. Entertainment was a bright spot in a quarter that saw a bigger loss of cable TV customers and slower growth in high-speed internet subscribers. Stock futures are indicating a higher Wall Street open open as investors await yet more earnings today. Stocks edged to more record highs yesterday with the help of better than estimated earnings. The benchmark S&P added only a point to 2478. The Dow jumped almost 98 to 21,711. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
When was the last time you walked out of a mattress store feeling confident about your purchase? These places exist for one reason. For a highly trained, commission-driven salesperson to dupe you into spending way too much money on a mattress. Hi, my name is Neil, and I'm one of the co-founders of Casper. Casper was created with a single goal in mind: deliver a great night's sleep at an incredible value. So we hired a team of engineers and designers to develop a single perfect mattress that sleeps cool and has just the right sink and bounce. We sell the Casper mattress online, skipping the markups of mattress stores, and we let you try it out in your own home for 100 nights risk-free. In less than 3 years, we've rapidly become the internet's favorite mattress. In fact, it now has more than 20,000 reviews with an average of 4.8 stars. Try us out today.
Simply go to Casper.com and use code EVENT to get $50 towards your mattress purchase. Terms and conditions apply. That's gift code EVENT at Casper.com for $50 towards your mattress purchase. Casper.com. Thanks for checking us out.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
No big accidents or breakdowns or heavy delays on the board. Perhaps a bit more volume hitting the roadways, but so far you aren't hitting each other. We're free of any major accidents at the present time. I-10 crossing the Bayway in good shape, just not much volume or particularly big problems so far. Even the weather radar looks pretty clear. The only rain visible is a problem for the fishes, not for the drivers this morning. So good news all around. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Good Thursday morning. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Get ready for a hot Thursday. In fact, we'll call it a high today of 96. The record high today in Mobile is 99. That was set back in 1968. When you factor in the humidity, it will feel like 105, and we have only a 20% chance of a thunderstorm. Again, I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
Breathing difficulties, an inmate on the loose, and a dangerous pig. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton with this iHeart Radio News Update. Right now, a high ozone alert is in place for Baldwin and Mobile counties, and this could cause problems for the elderly, people who work outdoors, and anyone with pre-existing breathing issues, so beware of that today. An inmate is on the loose in Baldwin County. The Department of Corrections says Carl Mitchell left his assigned job location in Bay Minette Wednesday morning. Mitchell was sentenced to serve a 20-year sentence on distribution of a controlled substance. If you know where he is, call your local law enforcement agency. A 3-year-old girl in North Alabama is set for surgery today in Rogersville after an enormous pig bit a chunk out of her arm. The little girl was playing with her 2 older brothers when they say their neighbor's 400-pound pig named Booger came over to their yard and bit her. The bite was so bad, the little girl named Bella had to be airlifted to a hospital in Huntsville where she received multiple layers of stitches. Neighbors say the pig has gotten out before and bitten other people. Officials say they will euthanize Booger and test him for diseases. News breaks while you sleep, so when you wake, we'll catch you up on what's happening along the Gulf Coast and around the world. Every weekday morning on Local 15 Today, we start at 5 a.m. For Local 15 News, I'm Darwin Singleton for this iHeart radio station.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. 2 shot down, several more to go as the Senate sifts through possible plans for health care reform. Fox's Mike Emanuel says one of those which failed.
Kentucky Senator Rand Paul's proposal for repealing now and replacing in the next 2 years. Here's how Senator Paul sold it on the Senate floor.
The problem is that we're not going to get towards the solution if we don't begin to repeal.
Another pitch which failed.
Texas Senator Ted Cruz's proposal calling for selling cheap insurance plans if that's what people want to buy.
2 top insurgents in Afghanistan killed, according to an Afghan official who says the joint operation with the U.S. took out 2 al-Qaeda-linked leaders, led to the capture of a third. And after a deadly accident, rides not running at the Ohio State Fair till a check to make sure they're safe. 1 person killed, 7 hurt when the Fireball ride broke apart. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Please listen to an important clinical research opportunity. Are you 50 years or older and have been hospitalized recently or plan to be soon? Doctors are looking for volunteers for a research study evaluating an investigational vaccine designed to protect against Clostridium difficile, or C. diff, bacteria that can cause frequent diarrhea, abdominal pain, and inflammation of the colon, which, when severe, can be life-threatening. Patients with increased exposure to healthcare facilities and those who have taken antibiotics are at a higher risk of getting sick. If you have had multiple visits to the emergency room, frequent visits to the doctor, or hospitalizations of at least 2 nights in the last year, you may qualify. To learn more about this study and to see if you qualify, visit clovertrial.com or call 1-877-296-9458. That's www.clovertrial.com or 1-877-296-9458.
Mike Ward's Liberty Safes is proud to be a Liberty Safe dealer, the best home security safe on the market. Locking your firearms at a top-rated Liberty Safe ensures their security from theft and fire. As Americans, we have our Second Amendment right to own guns, but to keep those rights, we need to be responsible and secure our firearms. Do your part to protect your family and friends. Lock them up. Mike Ward's Liberty Safes, Moffett and I-65. Look for the giant yellow safe.
Are you putting your money into an IRA, pension, or 401k? Then I hope you're prepared to lose 30, 40, 50% or more of your retirement savings, because it's not a question of if the market crashes again. It's a question.
Hey, good morning, Facebook. Just want to say hello. We took a long break here. I wanted to have private conversation with John McNeil. But now here we are, and we're going to go back on the radio in about 30 seconds and have public conversation on a variety of topics as we move forward here on the Uncle Henry Show. You'll be sad to know, John McNeil, that Kid Rock has pulled back and says he hasn't decided if he really is running for Senate.
He's going to make a decision in about 6 weeks.
However, he's registering voters at his concerts, which sounds pretty clever.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty clever, to have voter registration at a Kid Rock concert. All right, stand by. Here we go back to radio.
Yourself.com.
Your home for traffic and weather on the 9s every morning. This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Back here with John McNeil. MALFinancial.com is the website for John McNeil. Coming up in about 15 minutes, Joe Gomez, NBC News Radio, get an update on health care. Well, we'll get an update on the transgender issue and also Jeff Sessions through Joe Gomez of NBC News Radio. In the last segment, John McNeil and we were talking about, I saw this story about how the dope smoking communities of the West Coast, L.A., is looking at starting a municipal bank because the dope companies have nowhere to put their money. We've got an email about the FDIC. Subject line on the email is FDIC bogus. Email reads, tell McNeil that FDIC isn't really insurance. It's a complete farce because there ain't enough U.S. hard currency in the world to pay out the deposit liabilities banks offer with this scam. Sure, the Federal Reserve U.S. Treasury could print money or simply create a computer entry deposit, but you and I both know that the U.S. taxpayer is responsible for all government liabilities, plus those of the Federal Reserve. And that email from Jimmy the Economist.
Yeah. Jimmy, good point. FDIC. Kind of like the New York Times, failing New York Times.
Jimmy the Economist, always fun to hear from an actual economist in the audience. So thank you for your email address, unclehenry@gmail.com. Now, when we were in the lengthy break for news, weather, traffic, and all of that, the president did tweet again. I'm watching closely for Jeff Sessions' tweets. The newest tweet is, come on, Republican senators. You can do it on health care. After 7 years, this is your chance to shine. Don't let the American people down. And I don't. That's some cheerleading from the president.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I don't know how much good it's going to do. It is. That's another thing that causes some discouragement, in that we have had 7 years of politicians saying they were going to do something, and then when they have the chance to do it, we find out they're not going to do it.
It's very disheartening, and I think he called out those two Republican senators that voted against the motion to move forward. I mean, who would not want to move forward? I think she was from. There was one lady from Hawaii.
Didn't even want to debate it.
Didn't want to debate it. Come on, this is part of the process. You bring it to the floor, and then you start debating, and it very discouraging.
It
Drain the
is.
swamp.
The swamp has been very resistant to being drained. They have been very resistant. That's what we're seeing with all these leaks. And there's news on leaks. In fact, we may get to some of that in just a moment with something. Mr. Scaramucci, the new hire for communications, had all of his financial information leaked.
Yeah.
And he's saying it's a felony and is pointing at Priebus over all this. We'll continue right after traffic and weather, the Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening.
Time saver traffic from the Dean McCrary Kia Traffic Center.
We have a problem spot that's popped up in Santa Rosa County. Highway 90 has been closed at Harold Street. Authorities there say a train tanker car carrying liquid CO2 is off-gassing, which sounds potentially hazardous for people and trains. So while that's being investigated, Highway 90 has been closed as a precaution. No major I-10 problems into and out of the area. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation. Join the T.J. Martell Foundation in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn more.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Hello and happy Thursday. I'm Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Your forecast calls for a high of 96 today with partly cloudy skies and only a 20% chance of a thunderstorm. Clear and warm tonight. We're down to 75. Then we're in the mid-90s on Friday before cooler and stormy weather rolls in Saturday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News for this iHeartRadio station.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation.
Hey everybody, I'm Eric Church, asking you to join me in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS through the T.J. Martell Foundation. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn about music's promise for a cure.
Traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 9s every morning. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Coming up in about 10 minutes, Joe Gomez, NBC News Radio national correspondent, will get some of the initial reaction to the transgender tweets from the president yesterday and whatever else he can tell us about the Jeff Sessions situation. Now, mentioned in the last segment briefly that the man in charge of communications at the White House that was just brought in, Anthony Scaramucci, he's been in the news for the last few days talking about how he wanted to get rid of all the leaks, get some people to leave the White House, prosecute leakers, really go after leakers. And after making these bold statements about going after leakers, his financial info all leaked. So somebody, this power struggle that's going on, somebody decided to really, really mess with him. Oh, you want to go after the leakers? Here's a gigantic leak about you. Boom. So this is, we're seeing a war there. And so when so he's saying that this is a felony leak of his financial disclosure. He wants the leaker caught, of course. Who wouldn't? He tweeted something where he put in his tweet Reince Priebus's Twitter handle, perhaps pointing the finger at Priebus on this leak. So, John McNeil, it just looks like there is true warfare going on behind the scenes there in the administration with Scaramucci, and somebody wanted to mess with him, no doubt.
Yes.
By leaking, after he talked about leaks, and then they decided to show him by leaking his financial info.
Yeah. And when the special investigator, what is his name, the guy who's doing Mueller, when he gets he may already have Trump's tax returns, and that gets leaked, then we're going to have some fireworks.
Well, no doubt. And I wondered when, I don't know anything good or bad about Sean Spicer, but I wondered that once he was gone, would leaks stop? But then the leaks just continue. So there are, it looks like the president is going to have to systematically hire all new people to surround himself with that are not pre-existing government people.
And isn't that the responsibility? Isn't that one of the things that the chief of staff, Reince Priebus, is supposed to be doing? Is supposed to making sure that people who are in the West Wing, who are in the White House, are people who are on the side of Trump's ally, being an ally of Trump. So it seems to me he ought to be getting rid of everybody. And Scaramucci is saying he's going to do it, but Scaramucci is just in charge of communications, but Reince Priebus is in charge of the entire operation. It seems like he would be the one who would be saying, okay, everybody out. I mean, just get out.
Yeah, it looks, Priebus, it looks like he's not going to be there long.
I don't think so. I think he'll be gone before, I think he'll be the next one to fall. I really do.
It's really never seen anything like this. You've got all these leaks coming out apparently from the administration and then also the intelligence community.
Speaking of Spicer real quick, you've heard he's interviewing with Dancing with the Stars.
I did see that. I did see that. If I were him, I'd want to maybe go get in a cabin somewhere for a while.
Yeah.
Instead of going Dancing with the Stars. All right, we're going to be looking for a call from Joe Gomez, NBC News Radio, and find out about Jeff Sessions, anything new there, and also reaction to the transgender policy reveal.
The Glenn Beck program introduces a new eve.
The eve of global.
Hey, Facebook, want to continue talking with you here on Facebook, just so you know that we're not ignoring you there.
Do we have some people?
Let me look and see.
Who we have watching on Facebook?
Let me take a look and see if we still have people watching on Facebook. We do have a few. We've got Bama Big Man, who you met.
He came
last
to one of our
Thursday.
Dinners,
Yes.
Very nice. He and his wife are very nice people.
Bama Big Man, by the way. Bama Big Man, let me tell you this. During the presentation, the dinner meeting with McNeil Aarons Lambert Financial Group, I kept watching you, Bama Big Man, to gauge your reaction to the info. And I want you to know, John McNeil, Bama Big Man was laser beam focused on everything that was being talked about.
That's good.
He really enjoyed your parts about Alabama football because you do mention Alabama football, the people you went to school with, defense, all that. Bama Big Man enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So Alec Armbrecht.
Alec Armbrecht. I had lunch with him a couple weeks ago.
I would have done a better job if I'd known you were watching, Alec Armbrecht. Graham Greene of Smart Home America, Reagan Girl, Linda Dunn, Scotty White of ScottyWhite.com. Good morning to you all. Thank you for watching on Facebook. And I'm keeping an eye on the phone lines for Joe Gomez's call here.
He's going to tell us where Jamie Farr is or where he stands on the transgender thing.
Early this morning, John McNeil brought up Klinger.
That's because this is the day that the Korean War ended and Klinger was there.
Now, independent of each other, John McNeil and I both go to bed early, so we don't watch Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert.
Who are those people?
Conan. We don't watch those shows because we go to bed so early. You've got to think that one of those people had to have mentioned Klinger last night.
Yeah.
They had to have. It's just too obvious.
And my favorite outfit that Klinger wore was when he was dressed up as the Statue of Liberty. It was just, Colbert Carmen Miranda. What was that actress's name? Anyway, he had the big fruit hat and
Carmen Miranda.
Yeah.
That was always a reliable laugh that anytime a VIP from outside of the MASH would come to visit and their first encounter with Klinger was always a reliable laugh.
Yes, yes.
All right. Still watching for Joe Gomez's call. And the reaction, the interesting thing to me, I don't know, I admit I don't know a lot about the whole concept of people wanting to undergo these operations and things. I don't know a lot about it. What has been surprising to me is the reaction from a lot of veterans who are actually against the new policy, including, I never knew there was a Navy SEAL.
Yeah, I saw him. Whatever. I saw.
I had no clue. I had no clue about it. So I'm kind of learning about this issue. I'd never really paid a lot of attention to it before. It's not something you encounter frequently in Lower Alabama.
No.
So this has been quite an education over the last 24 hours. All right, let's see. We're going to be back on the radio in about 90 seconds, waiting for that call from Joe Gomez. And I don't know if he has anything new on Jeff. Well, he can tell us what, I'm sure he watched Mike Pence last night. Mike Pence, Vice President, telling Tucker Carlson that the attacks on Jeff Sessions are good because it's a good quality that the president has, because you always know where you stand with the president.
Well, I don't think he meant that the attacks were good. I think he meant that the way Trump handles things, he doesn't sugarcoat anything. He tells you exactly what he's thinking.
Okay.
I think that's what he meant, Uncle Henry.
Okay. I just know that I gritted my teeth.
Yeah, I know.
When I was watching him say that.
Because he likes your mother. Jeff Sessions likes your mother.
He is kind to my mother and wants to protect the honor of my mother. And I do appreciate that. All right, stand by. We're going to be back on the radio in about 30 seconds after the weather.
15 News. Your forecast calls for a hot day today. 96 is our high. 99 is the record. That was set back in 1968. Partly cloudy skies and only a slim chance of a thunderstorm. Should be a quiet night in the mid-70s, and it's hot again on Friday, middle 90s, before cooler, stormy weather moves in Saturday. I'm Jake Dunn for this iHeartRadio station.
News? Check. Traffic and weather? Check. Opinions? Check. This is the Uncle Henry Show, only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show, here with John McNeil, McNeil Aaron's Lambert Financial Group, with news headlines coming up in 10 minutes from Fox and from Local 15. And we've got Joe Gomez, NBC News Radio national correspondent, with us. Joe, good morning.
Well, good morning.
Well, you know what we want to start with, because we're so Jeff Sessions oriented here in Lower Alabama. Anything new? I saw Vice President Pence last night on Fox saying that these tweets are an example of how wonderful it is that Donald Trump is so transparent.
Well, that is one way to spin it, I guess, right? I guess that's one way to kind of spin this into a positive. And Pence certainly has a knack for doing that. But I guess, yeah. I mean, to some degree, it's better to know where you stand with somebody as opposed to being kind of left in the wind. But it still doesn't look very well for the president to be attacking his attorney general the way that he has. So it seems to me like at this point, the only I think option Trump has moving forward is probably just to fire Sessions, because it doesn't sound like Sessions is going to step down. He has a lot of support with Republicans in the Senate. And Chairman Chuck Grassley had sent out a tweet basically saying, "Look, there's no more room in the schedule this committee has for confirmation of a new attorney general." So,
wow.
Unless Trump wants to, he tweeted that out. He said that they're full for the rest of the year. So, unless Trump is going to try to sneak it in during the recess, Senate Republicans are not going to go for that.
Now, Joe Gomez, we've got 20, 30, 40 people running for Jeff Sessions' seat. here in Alabama. Did you see the press release from one of the candidates, Mo Brooks, who wants everybody to quit so that Jeff Sessions can come back and be our senator?
I saw that. I was pretty stunned by that. I guess I don't know how popular Congressman Brooks is in Alabama, by the way, but he said that he'd be willing to step aside to allow Sessions to carry on his seniority. And then he said, didn't he say something that he knew this was going to be an unpopular move because Alabamans love Donald Trump, but he was willing to sacrifice himself regardless.
Right.
So,
yeah.
It sounds like like Sessions does have a lot of support there in Alabama.
Oh, really? He does. And there was Mo Brooks, of course, knew that no one would take him up on this offer. Alabama politicians, our politicians will never resign from office unless it's part of a plea deal. That is the only way that it happens in Alabama. Now, before we run out of time, Joe Gomez, the reaction to the president's transgender policy, are a lot of people surprised by that whole reveal yesterday morning on Twitter?
Yeah, everybody was surprised by it. When I first read it, I didn't know that it was going to have that kind of an impact, honestly. But it has. It's had a tremendous impact, and I guess because nobody knew that it was coming. Secretary of Defense James Mattis is on vacation. He was doing a review of whether or not transgendered troops should serve openly in the military. That review, which was going to be an assessment of opinions of various generals, was going to be over, I think, some point in December. And so for Trump to just suddenly say this and to make this announcement on Twitter came as a big shock. And Mattis, by the way, is on vacation this week, too. So I don't know if he was told about this ahead of time or what. Doesn't sound like it. The Pentagon didn't know about it. A lot of Republican senators didn't know about it. So sounds like something that the president did totally shooting from the hip.
Now, Joe Gomez, I don't know if you know the answer to this or not, but are there options for transgender people that are already in the military to somehow go to court over this? Or is this, because it's the military, is this something that there's really not a legal recourse?
I'm not sure because they didn't really offer a lot of clarity on this. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the press secretary for the White House, also said she didn't know the answer as far as, if people are already in the military and they're transgendered, do they just get discharged? Are they just kicked out? And then if so, are they going to be left with any kind of benefits from the government afterwards? What's going to happen? Are they just going to be left without a job? So there's a lot of questions that we just don't have answers to. And I guess the White House is supposed to clear a lot of this up after the fact. But I would imagine that there could potentially be plenty of lawsuits after this.
I saw one story that was claiming that this is actually some way of some political move that has to deal with some funding bill of all things. Did you see that too?
Yeah, there was. There's been this talk that perhaps this was a move to avoid some kind of a floor fight in the House because there was a defense spending bill that included funding for the wall that could have been compromised because some conservatives didn't like the idea of including language in it that would pay for gender reassignment surgeries.
Okay, so some people are claiming that he did this to clear the way for funding the wall.
For funding the wall, exactly, yeah. So he didn't want to have a big fight in the House break out because the House, by the way, breaks at the end of the week. They're gone for the month of August after that. So he didn't want to have – if you follow that theory, President Trump didn't want to have any kind of delay in obtaining funding for the wall when he's so close to maybe getting health care done and getting funding for the wall. It'd be a huge double win for the president.
Every time the president tweets, we have to come up with theories, trying to explain what's going on here. All right, well, hey, Joe Gomez, thank you for your time.
Okay, thanks.
There he goes, Joe Gomez, NBC News Radio national correspondent. So, John McNeil, some people claiming that the whole transgender thing is just to clear the way for wall funding.
Yeah, it's been a policy that Obama put in the last few days of his administration that transgender could serve openly, and that the federal government would pay for gender reassignment. Is that what you say?
Right.
And that, I don't mind them serving openly. I just don't think we ought to pay to have the operations.
Well, and you wonder how many people might join just to have that paid for.
Right, because it's very expensive. I don't know.
Look, we have news headlines next. Darwin, Fox, traffic, weather, and then we'll continue several more hours, more than 2 more hours with John McNeil here.
All right.
You're unique, so why is your mattress one size fits all? Because a custom mattress costs thousands, until now. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, where you can buy a mattress online, customized for you, for hundreds of dollars instead of thousands. Go to HelixSleep.com, answer a few simple questions, and we build you the most comfortable mattress you'll ever sleep on. Shipping is free, and you have 100 nights to try it out. Go to HelixSleep.com/talkradio and get $50 off your order. HelixSleep.com/talkradio.
Not available in all states. Hey, Carl, how is it you're always golfing? I thought you owned a business.
I own a Reese and Irvy's robot franchise, Bob. The robots serve 7 flavors of delicious frozen yogurt, and the franchisor secured the best locations for me.
Sounds so easy.
Yep, easiest employees you'll ever have. Where are you going?
To learn more about a Reese and Irvy's franchise opportunity.
To learn more, go now to froyofranchising.com and use promo code 9393. That's froyofranchising.com, promo code 9393.
When was the last time you walked out of a mattress store feeling confident about your purchase? These places exist for one reason: for a highly trained, commission-driven salesperson to dupe you into spending way too much money on a mattress. Hi, my name is Neil, and I'm one of the co-founders of Casper. Casper was created with a single goal in mind: deliver a great night's sleep at an incredible value. So we hired a team of engineers and designers to develop a single perfect mattress that sleeps cool and has just the right sink and bounce. We sell the Casper mattress online, skipping the markups of mattress stores, and we let you try it out in your own home for 100 nights risk-free. In less than 3 years, we've rapidly become the internet's favorite mattress. In fact, it now has more than 20,000 reviews with an average of 4.8 stars. Try us out today.
Simply go to Casper.com and use code RESTED to get $50 towards your mattress purchase. Terms and conditions apply. That's gift code RESTED at Casper.com for $50 towards your mattress purchase. Casper.com. Thanks for checking us out.
Your home for traffic and weather on the 9s every morning. News Radio 710 WNTM, Mobile, and iHeart radio station 99.9 WMXC HD3 Mobile. 710 Time Saver Traffic from the Dean McCrary Volkswagen Traffic Center.
We have picked up some interstate trouble in the Pensacola area. This is eastbound I-10, a little bit before the Pensacola Boulevard exit, which is Highway 29. Oversized load that's off on the right shoulder of the road, but lots of folks leaving that right lane to get around it. This, in turn, has prompted a 2-mile backup, again, eastbound I-10 in Pensacola. Highway 90 still closed at Harold Street in Santa Rosa County due to a stopped train on the railroad tracks there. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Good Thursday morning. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Get ready for a hot Thursday. In fact, we'll call it a high today of 96. The record high today in Mobile is 99. That was set back in 1968. When you factor in the humidity, it will feel like 105, and we have only a 20% chance of a thunderstorm. Again, I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
Don't let the American people down. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump just tweeted, writing, "Come on, Republican senators, you can do it on health care." The day after another Obamacare repeal plan fell short. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, it could be a late night tonight in the Senate. Lawmakers will meet for a session called a vote-a-rama to add a flurry of amendments to the health care bill. Democrat Elizabeth Warren says they'll continue to put up a fight.
Beat back these shameful health care bills.
Vice President Mike Pence told Fox's Tucker Carlson,
Obamacare is dead. This system is collapsing around us.
One plan under consideration is a so-called skinny bill, rolling back the individual mandate and some taxes. Dave.
Rachel, all the rides at the Ohio State Fair will be shut down today for safety checks after a disaster on the Fireball last night.
One person is deceased as a result of this incident.
State Highway Patrol Colonel Paul Pride, 7 others were injured, 3 critically, when the ride that swings up to 40 feet in the air and spins broke apart, sending people flying and then into the ground.
The ride, which malfunctioned so horribly here at the Ohio State Fair, was inspected at several stages and signed off as safe.
Stacey Fry with Fox 8 in Columbus. In Alabama, a teenager struck by lightning at his home yesterday on the porch has died. The lightning ran through the tree, jumped to the boy, went through his body, and then exited his foot into the ground. Medical teams worked for 15 to 20 minutes trying to revive him, but it didn't work. Justin Bieber got into an accident last night. That's from RMG News. What you heard is the pop star's pickup truck hitting a photographer, one of several who had crowded around Bieber before he drove off in Beverly Hills. Bieber got out of the truck, asked if the guy was okay. He was taken to a hospital, but his injuries are not said to be life-threatening. Bieber was not charged by police. The other day, he had canceled the rest of his tour. Fox News.
Breathing difficulties, an inmate on the loose, and a dangerous pig. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton with this iHeartRadio News Update. Right now, a high ozone alert is in place for Baldwin and Mobile counties, and this could cause problems for the elderly, people who work outdoors, and anyone with pre-existing breathing issues, so beware of that today. An inmate is on the loose in Baldwin County. The Department of Corrections says Carl Mitchell left his assigned job location in Bay Minette Wednesday morning. Mitchell was sentenced to serve a 20-year sentence on distribution of a controlled substance. If you know where he is, call your local law enforcement agency. A 3-year-old girl in North Alabama is set for surgery today in Rogersville after an enormous pig bit a chunk out of her arm. The little girl was playing with her 2 older brothers when, they say, their neighbor's 400-pound pig named Booger came over to their yard and bit her. The bite was so bad, the little girl named Bella had to be airlifted to a hospital in Huntsville where she received multiple layers of stitches. Neighbors say the pig has gotten out before and bitten other people. Officials say they will euthanize Booger and test him for diseases. News breaks while you sleep, so when you wake, we'll catch you up on what's happening along the Gulf Coast and around the world. Every weekday morning on Local 15 Today. We start at 5 a.m. For Local 15 News, I'm Darwin Singleton for this iHeartRadio station.
Bras Across the Causeway is coming October the 1st to Battleship Park, and we're literally going to try to get bras to stretch across the 7 miles. Kathy Smith is here from Bayside Insurance. She is heading it up. What do you need bras, right?
We need bras. We're collecting 15,000 bras. We need sponsorships, $25 to $25,000 or something for everyone. We're going to have a 5K and a Tata Taste-Off.
That's restaurants from around the area and people sampling their food, right?
Yes.
To participate or drop off the bras, where do they go?
We have a Facebook page, Bras Across the Causeway.
RVs Unlimited in Robertsdale, new and pre-owned. RVsunlimited.com.
From the Mercedes-Benz of Mobile Studios, this is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM The Jag. You can also watch the show. We do have video feeding on the News Radio 710 WNTM Facebook page. There's something to look at today. Other than me, John McNeil is here. John McNeil of McNeil Aarons Lambert Financial Group here until 10 o'clock this morning. John McNeil, good morning to you.
Good morning, Uncle Henry. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you here. Always to do the show with an Alabama fan is what a blessing it is. It's a real blessing to have a kindred spirit, an Alabama fan, offering us updates on how many days to kick off and all that. It is just a fantastic thing. Thank you for providing that service to the listener of the Uncle Henry Show. How many days? 38?
37.
37!
37.
Roll Tide! Well, I've been watching the president's Twitter this morning. He's been tweeting so much over the last week or so. He has not tweeted about Jeff Sessions yet today. I'm watching, I'm looking, but no tweets about Jeff Sessions. He's tweeted about the New York Times and Fox and Friends, and he's tweeted about the Republicans and health care, encouraging the Republicans to move forward on health care. He has not yet tweeted about Jeff Sessions. Now, last night, you may have seen this, Tucker Carlson was interviewing the Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence, about the president's problems with Jeff Sessions. I'll share with you some of the things that he had to say about it. Here is Mike Pence.
I think what the American people like about this president is he speaks candidly, he speaks openly. He's expressed his disappointment, but that doesn't mean that we don't recognize the good work the Justice Department has been doing under the Attorney General's leadership.
He also says that these tweets, this is the fact that the president tweets like this about Jeff Sessions, it's a good characteristic that the president has, because you always know where you stand.
The Washington way is to talk behind people's backs, but that's not President Donald Trump's approach. One of the great things about this president is you always know where you stand.
Okay. All right, well, so it's good that at least we know that he's very upset with Jeff Sessions. So that was from Vice President Mike Pence last night on Tucker Carlson.
And we don't know if he's really all that upset.
What?
I'm just thinking.
What?
I'm just hoping and praying that it may be just a smokescreen that he's talking about Jeff Sessions, because everybody loves Jeff Sessions. You know, he's very well respected in the Senate in Washington, and especially here in Mobile, Alabama, and Hibbert, Alabama, where Freddie and Jeff Sessions were born and raised. But I think, you know, when we look back, hopefully, I think we're going to have Ralph Previs go before anybody else.
Okay.
That'll be the only one to go.
If Jeff Sessions prosecuted a bunch of leakers, that would probably make the president very happy.
Oh, yeah, let's hang them up. Yeah.
And he would probably tweet that Jeff Sessions is a great American. All right, look, traffic and weather together, and then we'll be right back in just 90 seconds.
Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
All right, well, we are starting to see some pretty heavy traffic that's been brewing for a while now on the eastbound side of I-10 through the Pensacola area. We have a stalled out oversized load that's kind of off on the right shoulder of the road just before the Pensacola Boulevard. That's Highway 29. Don't appear to be blocking any lanes there, but delay is a good 2 miles in length, so you're going to budget some time to get through that. No major problems for Bayway drivers so far. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock. It's morning. Here's an eye-opener. LifeLock can see more threats to your identity than you can see if you're just monitoring your credit. And if something happens, a U.S.-based specialist can work to fix it. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to save 10%.
RVs Unlimited in Robertsdale, new and pre-owned. RVsunlimited.com.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Hello and happy Thursday. I'm Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Your forecast calls for a high of 96 today with partly cloudy skies and only a 20% chance of a thunderstorm. Clear and warm tonight. We're down to 75. Then we're in the mid-90s on Friday before cooler and stormy weather rolls in Saturday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News for this iHeartRadio station.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. There's a girl in El Salvador who dreams of becoming an engineer. There's an elder in Uganda who dreams of having a community to call his own. No two dreams are the same. Help one person achieve theirs at unbound.org.
You're home for Rush every weekday at 11. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Here with John McNeil. Also, one of the more interesting stories out of Washington right now is the newest leak. There's so many leaks every day. I don't know if this is the newest leak, but the leak about the new communications man, Mr. Scaramucci, his financial disclosure information was leaked. Now, you may remember that it's been during this week that he has been on the warpath against leakers, talking about getting rid of all the leakers, making a big deal about it. And after making a big deal about leaks, he had all of his personal info leaked. Descriptions of all of his finances.
Not good.
So, well, this is obviously somebody trying to show him saying to him, I guess sending him a message saying, you think you can do this or do that or say this, look at this. We're going to leak on you too. And when he tweeted about it, he put Reince Priebus's Twitter handle in his tweet. So people are wondering, is he pointing the finger at Priebus as the leaker? And he's calling it a felony and wants the FBI to investigate. It just looks like there's going to be a lot more people let go at the White House. And Priebus didn't even know that Scaramucci was going to be hired.
Right, and I think there's been a very contentious
right
behind the scenes. And Scaramucci, I've not seen his financial information. What I understand, he's very, very wealthy.
Well, I read the story about the leak, and he's done great for himself.
Yeah, yeah.
He's really. This is another instance where he's definitely not serving to pad his own wallet, because he's done well enough that he could go off and just spend his time on a boat if he wanted to.
Yeah.
So, but it looks like more personnel changes.
I like his name, Scaramucci. They call him the Mooch. That was his nickname.
And he seems to have a similar communication style with the president, in that they look like a better fit for each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're on the same page, kind of. They're the same mold type thing.
Yeah, kind of.
He's a little bit brash, but not. He's very well. He communicates very well.
Right.
I think he communicates better than Trump does.
So that seems like a better fit in that position, and we may see a lot more people brought in from Donald Trump's world before president to fill all these spots.
Yeah.
Like the Priebus spot. But it's gonna be something to see how this is handled, because the leaks, with all the complaints about leaks, we're getting more than ever before.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll ever find out where they're actually originating from. It takes so long for these investigations. My goodness, it seems like if somebody did something wrong, if you did something wrong, Uncle Henry, they'd come in and get you right away.
They would. President Obama, I think he prosecuted numerous leaks. His administration did.
Yeah.
Do I remember correctly? Did they at some point bug reporters' phones?
Something. I can't remember.
I don't know. But if you're a reporter in Washington, you might have the government listening to you. All right, more in just a moment on the Uncle Henry Show.
I don't like compromise, which means I don't want adjusting my underwear every other set until it becomes part of my routine. Solution? Frigo by RevolutionWear.com. Underwear reimagined. I stay cool, dry, and focused on my next rep, not tugging and grabbing and putting things back in place. Frigo by RevolutionWear.com is as high-tech as you can get with underwear. No pinching, no pulling, no restricting. Buy Frigo online now at RevolutionWear.com. The revolution starts below.
Hey, we have an opportunity to slay the bike night this Thursday night at Harley-Davidson of Pensacola. It's a Christmas in July bike night. Ho, ho! Music by ADD and a Frozen t-shirt contest. That's not for the squeamish. We'll even have snow on the ground, free burgers and sausage, and free frosty adult beverages provided you drink responsibly. 'Tis the season for the Christmas in July bike night from 6 until 9 this Thursday at Harley-Davidson of Pensacola, Highway 29 in Car City.
The IRS doesn't mess around. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. If you owe back taxes, call Optima Tax Relief. Optima has access to a special IRS program called the Fresh Start Initiative, and their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. Optima is A-rated with the Better Business Bureau. Don't delay. Call now for your free consultation.
Call 800-960-1575. 800-960-1575.
I believe the finest cars in the world are made right here in Alabama, and that's why Mercedes-Benz and Mobile is expanding our team of talented technicians. If you have the drive and skill it takes to be a Mercedes-Benz technician, then we want you to be part of our family. We're offering excellent pay and benefits along with fully air-conditioned parts and service departments. Mercedes-Benz and Mobile is hiring service technicians. Please call 251-472-BENZ. That's 251-472-BENZ.
When was the last time you walked out of a mattress store feeling confident about your purchase? These places exist for one reason: for a highly trained, commission-driven salesperson to dupe you into spending way too much money on a mattress. Hi, my name is Neil, and I'm one of the co-founders of Casper. Casper was created with a single goal in mind: deliver a great night's sleep at an incredible value. So we hired a team of engineers and designers to develop a single perfect mattress that sleeps cool and has just the right sink and bounce. We sell the Casper mattress online, skipping the markups of mattress stores, and we let you try it out in your own home for 100 nights risk-free. In less than 3 years, we've rapidly become the internet's favorite mattress. In fact, it now has more than 20,000 reviews with an average of 4.8 stars. Try us out today.
Simply go to Casper.com and use code RESTED to get $50 towards your mattress purchase. Terms and conditions apply. That's gift code RESTED at Casper.com for $50 towards your mattress purchase. Casper.com. Thanks for checking us out.
Smart Home America is a local nonprofit set up to help Gulf Coast homeowners learn how to save money. Learn how to shop for homeowners insurance and get the right coverages. Learn how to re-roof your house with a fortified roof that's safer and can increase your property values. And learn how to save all the time by being more energy efficient. You'll find information and resources at smarthomeamerica.org. Build a stronger home, save money, and get the right insurance with smarthomeamerica.org.
Unlimited streaming of all your favorite music right at your fingertips in the iHeartRadio app. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free. Open the iHeartRadio app and listen today.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Dean McCrary Porsche Traffic Center.
All right, well, we are starting to see some pretty heavy traffic that's been brewing for a while now on the eastbound side of I-10 through the Pensacola area. We have a stalled out oversized load that's kind of off on the right shoulder of the road just before the Pensacola Boulevard. That's Highway 29. They don't appear to be blocking any lanes there, but delay is a good 2 miles in length, so you're going to budget some time to get through that. No major problems for Bayway drivers so far. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
When Marlon Shirley was 5, he lost his foot. Today, as the world's fastest amputee, he runs the 100 meters in less time than it takes to listen to this. Overcome it. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Hello, I'm Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Your forecast calls for a hot day today. 96 is our high, 99 is the record. That was set back in 1968. Partly cloudy skies and only a slim chance of a thunderstorm. Should be a quiet night in the mid-70s, and it's hot again on Friday, middle 90s, before cooler, stormy weather moves in Saturday. I'm Jake Dunn for this iHeartRadio station.
We love Nick Saban. Just wanted to get that out of the way. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes from Fox and from Local 15's Darwin. Here with John McNeil, McNeil Aaron's Lambert Financial Group, malfinancial.com.
Good morning.
Going to get to a few different things here, but first let me go into the email inbox. Subject line on the email is Roll Tide Unc. Email reads, good morning to you, John, and every dadgum buddy there.
It's just us.
How's things in the Port City? I'll be glad when football starts. And that email from 60-year-old Chris in West Loxley, who adds PS 37 days Roll Tide Roll. Chris, thank you for your Roll Tides. Roll Tide Roll!
37 days, 13 hours, 7 minutes, and 44 seconds.
Roll Tide Roll. Thank you, Chris. How are things in the Port City? We talked about that a bit a couple of hours ago. Things can always be better, but they just keep improving. Things keep looking up. We had a lot of news this week about different infrastructure projects that are going to get underway. Didn't talk a lot about it on the air, but the Hank Aaron Loop, there's some kind of a federal grant that where they're going to start work on this. It's going to take years to complete, but they're going to totally revamp the Hank Aaron Loop with street improvements, drainage improvements, sidewalks, bicycle paths, all that kind of stuff.
As soon as they get through with McGregor, you know,
right? Well, you've got that. You've got Water Street. Work on Water Street is going to get underway to improve that. We were talking about how there's been the announcement that Saraland is going to have, even though that's not city limits of Mobile, it's still in the county and very much connected to us. Saraland is getting a Cracker Barrel.
Yay.
175 jobs. We have just had in the last few years so many great stories about jobs, be it Walmart distribution, Amazon, Cracker Barrel, all the aerospace that we have.
What about the Carnival Cruise survey that said Mobile was the friendliest port that they come to? And that would
something like that, yeah. So, Chris, things in the port city looking up. The thing that I hear most people complain about are the two issues. One is the traffic, having too much of it to go west and east on the interstates, and then people concerned about youth and the uptick we've seen recently with young people and shootings, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But we have so many positives going on, Chris. It's great to have things pointing in the right direction.
Thank you, Mayor Stimson. I just had to throw that out there.
That's now you can do that.
Okay.
Now you can do that.
I know you have to remain impartial, but I can throw that out.
I haven't asked you. Well, I don't know that a host is ever impartial, but I'm just not supposed to officially endorse anybody or say who I voted for.
Okay.
That's the rule. I'm not
Okay.
supposed to endorse or say who I voted for. I haven't asked you about this. One of the perennial questions, we just talked about all the positive things going on in Mobile, but we always have a perennial question in this town. What do we do with fill in the blank? And it's usually a taxpayer-funded structure, be it a civic center, convention center, cruise ship terminal, where we've got to figure out what to do with it.
Right.
And unfortunately, we have all these stories about Hank Aaron Stadium and the Bay Bears being on the market.
Yeah.
Now, what do you do? There seems to be only a few things you can do with a baseball stadium.
Well, have you been to Stanky Field lately? Maybe that South Alabama could take over the Bay Bear Stadium.
I have not been to Stanky lately. I know that colleges like to play on campus.
I know.
When possible.
Yeah, but I don't know. Hopefully they're going to stay here. I hadn't heard anything lately.
I haven't heard anything in the last few days. But that's so you haven't heard anything in your influential circles?
No. I'm more concentrating on the 37-day time clock than I am on
good.
the baseball.
That's good.
Okay.
That's a good thing to be concentrated on. But Chris, thank you for your email things. We have when we choose to be optimistic, there are some great things to look at and focus on for all of the optimism there. Email address unclehenry@gmail.com. That's unclehenry@gmail.com. Coming up in the next half hour, we will be checking in with Darwin of Local 15 and find out what he's covering. I probably won't ask him about the ducks, but one of the stories Local 15 is covering is that Fairhope has decided to make it against the rules to feed the ducks and the geese. And that sounds like probably a very minor thing to the hustle and bustle of the great big metropolitan Mobile area. But the people that go, this is going to be interesting to see the reaction, because there are a lot of people that go specifically to spend time with the ducks and the geese.
Can you still feed the ducks at Municipal Park or Langham Park, whatever the name of it is?
I haven't been in a long time. I don't know if you remember or not, but Ariel, who's not here today, Ariel was once traumatized by the ducks.
I know.
At Municipal Park.
I know. And I shared that story about catching ducks when I was a mere youngster, and catching the ducks with a crab net and throwing it in a friend's car, and it really messed up the car. And we'd catch pigeons in Beaver Square and turn them loose in the downtown theater.
Yes, catch pigeons and turn them loose in the theater. That would be boys talk.
Boys will be boys.
All right, we're going to take a time out for news, traffic, weather. We're going to find out the latest headlines from Fox. I've been watching the president's Twitter. He has not tweeted in about an hour, so we're overdue. We're overdue for another president tweet. I'll keep an eye on that. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for watching on Facebook. Back in just a moment.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Shares of Twitter are down almost 10% in pre-market trading. Second quarter revenue beat estimates, but monthly user numbers missed. Twitter posted a loss in the latest quarter that matched analyst estimates. Shares of Facebook are going the other way, up almost 6.5% before the opening bell, after the company said that it hit 2 billion users a month and that revenue rose 45% in the second quarter. Facebook did say growth would be slower going forward because it cannot keep loading ads onto user news feeds. Starbucks is buying the rest of its East China joint venture in a $1.3 billion transaction, marking the biggest deal ever for the coffee chain. The move underscores Starbucks' bet that China will be one of the company's biggest growth drivers in the coming years. Starbucks reports earnings later today. S&P futures are up about 5 points. Dow futures are up 21. NYMEX crude at $48.35 a barrel. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
This is Uncle Henry. I want to tell you about Dr. Thomas Bender and Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center. We love living on the Gulf Coast. We love all the fun activities, the fishing, the golf. But years of being out in the elements, well, that can accelerate damage to your skin. That can accelerate the aging process of your skin. Dr. Bender can help you with that. Dr. Bender is a board-certified dermatologist. He provides the latest innovations in medical skincare and cosmetic skincare, and he also has all the latest technology. He's got 3 convenient locations, Mobile, Daphne, and Bay Minette. You can find out more about Dr. Bender and all of the services he provides by going online. The website is advanceddermclinic.com. That's advanceddermclinic.com. You can make an appointment there online, or you can call for your appointment. The number is 251-631-3570. That's Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Our very large, oversized load, which had been stopped on the right shoulder of the roadway, eastbound I-10 before the Pensacola Boulevard exit, has finally got going again. It's moved on down the road. A little bit of a police escort helping them along the way. So better news for drivers there. That means there's pretty heavy delay on eastbound I-10 through Pensacola, which has been between 2 and 3 miles, should now pretty rapidly dissipate. I'm Ray Romero.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Good Thursday morning. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Get ready for a hot Thursday. In fact, we'll call it a high today of 96. The record high today in Mobile is 99. That was set back in 1968. When you factor in the humidity, it will feel like 105, and we have only a 20% chance of a thunderstorm. Again, I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
A missing woman now feared dead. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton with this iHeart Radio News update. This morning, deputies continue to search for answers in the disappearance of a missing Wilmer woman. 60-year-old Susan Mayo has been missing for some time now, but investigators no longer believe she's alive. And this morning, they're also searching for her son. They believe Nathaniel Sebastian has something to do with his mother's disappearance. As recently as Monday, high bacteria levels were found at 6 different Baldwin County public beach areas. In his daily online Facebook swim guide, Mobile Baykeeper posts the results of tests by the Alabama Department of Environmental Management, and then they post those elevated levels of bacteria as red or dangerous on their online map. ADEM, however, posts the same high numbers using a yellow moderate risk. ADEM did not respond to our questions, but officials at Gulf State Park, where 2 of the most popular beaches were tested, say they use ADEM's definition when they post for swimmers. On Wednesday night, 3 years ago, 3 cyclists got together at Loda Beer Garden to go on a bicycle ride. Well, every week more and more riders joined in, and last night, more than 120 of them gathered at that very same spot in downtown Mobile to mark the 3-year anniversary of the Loda Beer Garden Wednesday night bike ride. It happens every Wednesday at 6:30. News breaks while you sleep, so when you wake, we'll catch you up on what's happening along the Gulf Coast and around the world every weekday morning on Local 15 Today. We start at 5 a.m. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton for this iHeart radio station.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The president on Twitter urging Republican senators not to let the American people down on health care. This the morning after a bill for a clean repeal failed. Wisconsin Congressman Sean Duffy in favor of the so-called skinny repeal, telling the Fox Business Network.
We can beef this thing up and actually get a repeal and replace bill
that'll still work in the House, and it's going to give senators more time to get their hands around what we should actually do with health care.
On the agenda for senators, the Vote-A-Rama.
A series of votes probably go on for 6, 8, maybe even 10 hours. Just roll call vote after roll call vote after roll call vote on procedural issues, on amendments.
Fox's Chad Pergram. And California fair officials joining Ohio in closing its Fireball ride after a deadly accident at the Ohio State Fair where an 18-year-old man died when the ride appeared to break apart. 7 others hurt. Fox News, we report, you decide.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best.
Hi, I'm Congressman Mo Brooks. President Donald Trump promised to build a border wall to keep us safe and protect American jobs for American workers. But Democrats, and even some Republicans, obstruct funding for President Trump's wall. I make you this promise. Elect Mo Brooks to the U.S. Senate, and I will fight to fund the border wall. Right now, Chuck Schumer and the Democrats use the filibuster rule to kill our conservative America First agenda. Well, 2 can play that game. We must fight fire with fire. If I have to go to the Senate floor and filibuster to fund the border wall, I will do exactly that. America will build a border wall to keep us safe and to protect American jobs for American workers, or you will know the name of every senator who stands in our way and betrays the American people. I'm Congressman Mo Brooks. If you support a border wall, then vote Mo Brooks for Senate. I'm Mo Brooks, and I approve this message.
Smart Home America is a local nonprofit set up to help Gulf Coast homeowners learn how to save money. Learn how to shop for homeowners insurance and get the right coverages. Learn how to re-roof your house with a fortified roof that's safer and can increase your property values. And learn how to save all the time by being more energy efficient. You'll find information and resources at smarthomeamerica.org. Build a stronger home, save money, and get the right insurance with smarthomeamerica.org.
When it comes to office machines, great service is a priority. So trust the local folks with 45 years of service right here in our area. CPC Office Technologies has built their reputation on great service. As your authorized dealer for Ricoh, Sharp, Lexmark, Miratech, and Hassler, they're your one source for digital copiers, MFPs, and mailing equipment. CPC Office Technologies, proudly celebrating 45 years of providing service that can't be copied. Online at cpctek.com.
The IRS doesn't mess around. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. If you owe back taxes, call Optima Tax Relief. Optima has access to a special IRS program called the Fresh Start Initiative, and their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. Optima is A-rated with the Better Business Bureau. Don't delay. Call now for your free consultation.
Call 800-960-1575. 800-960-1575.
This morning at 9, Ask the Expert. Then Rush at 11. Right now, it's Uncle Henry on News Radio 710 WNTM.
We've arrived at the Daily Reagan here on News Radio 710 WNTM and 99.5 FM. The Jag, the Daily Reagan, a presentation of SAD Healthcare, SAAD, sadhealthcare.com. Here's the president.
There's no problem we cannot solve by a cooperative effort, using government and the full creative talent of our people. This is true above all in the problem which is, or certainly should be, of greatest concern to every one of us. There must be no lack of equal opportunity, no inequality before the law, no differing standards with regards to constitutional rights for any American. And we're all Americans. It's high time we stopped hyphenating ourselves into blocks. Irish Americans, Negro Americans, Italian Americans, Mexican Americans, Oriental Americans, and on and on. These blocks were set up for political expediency, so cynical men could make cynical promises in a hunt for votes. Well, if taxes are too high, they're too high for all of us. If streets are unsafe after dark, everyone's family is menaced. If prices go up, all our pockets are a little emptier. Certainly there are problems in our differences, and government must take the lead in their solution. But there's a limit to what can be accomplished by laws and regulations. And I seriously question whether anything additional is needed in that line. What is needed is for government to mobilize the decent people of goodwill from every group, to come together in a search for human understanding, to establish channels of communication, and to make it plainly evident that those few who choose to walk with prejudice will walk alone. Never again should any parent know the heartbreak of explaining to a child that he's to be denied some of the good our country has to offer, because in some way he's different.
The Daily Reagan, a presentation of SAD Healthcare, SAAD, sadhealthcare.com. Back here on the Uncle Henry Show with John McNeil. And we have an email that has come in on the topic of Priebus and Scaramucci and all of that going on in Washington. Subject line on the email is Priebus and Spicer. Email reads, "Good morning, Uncle Henry and John. It's worth remembering that Priebus and Spicer both came from the RNC, and that Priebus has Wisconsin ties to Paul Ryan, all establishment guys. Wonder if someone convinced President Trump that he needed them to get things done in D.C. Now perhaps he's realizing he should have followed his own instincts and surrounded himself with folks from Trump world. Scaramucci is a good start. How about Corey Lewandowski for chief of staff? He's smart, articulate, and fiercely loyal to Trump, and he navigated the win through the brutal primaries. I personally think he would be a great choice." And that email from Common Sense Girl.
That is Common Sense Girl.
I have to agree with everything that she said. So many people kept saying that President Trump needed Washington, because he was an outsider, he needed some establishment people around him to help him learn his way through all of it.
And that made sense at the time. It
But,
really did.
it has turned out to not have been a good idea.
Right. He needs to get his business get some of his businessmen in there. That's what we need more of. Less, well, I'm not going to say it.
All right, well, Common Sense Girl, I hope that somebody in Washington is thinking along your lines. I bet a lot of them are. All right, hey, we're back in just 90 seconds after traffic and weather together.
Roll Tide.
Time saver traffic from the Dean McCrary Mazda Traffic Center.
Eastbound I-10 still seeing about a 4-mile backup through the Pensacola area. The problem is an oversized load which stopped on the right shoulder of the road, eastbound I-10 before the Highway 29 exit. It got going again, but now it appears to be stopped again. A little bit further up the road, you've got a couple of police units parked behind him. Now, again, they are on the right shoulder, don't seem to be blocking any lanes, but delays there remain very heavy. I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation. Join the T.J. Martell Foundation in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn more.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Hello and happy Thursday. I'm Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Your forecast calls for a high of 96 today with partly cloudy skies and only a 20% chance of a thunderstorm. Clear and warm tonight. We're down to 75. Then we're in the mid-90s on Friday before cooler and stormy weather rolls in Saturday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News for this iHeart radio station.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation.
Hey everybody, I'm Eric Church, asking you to join me in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS through the T.J. Martell Foundation. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn about music's promise for a cure.
Roll Tide. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show coming up in about 10 minutes. Darwin, Local 15. We'll try to establish telephonic communications with Darwin. Here with John McNeil, MALFinancial.com, and Angelo's with us from Mobile Bay Coins. Angelo, good morning.
Well, good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing today?
Doing fantastic. We were talking earlier about how out on the West Coast there are some cities like Los Angeles that want to help the people selling dope, but the people that sell dope don't have anywhere to put their money because it's still against federal law to sell their dope, and so they're thinking of starting municipal banks so they'll have somewhere to deposit their dope money. And John McNeil brought up to me during the commercial break that some cities in the past would have municipal money. They would have their own
back in the 1800s.
They would have their own currency. Do you run across municipal currency?
We certainly do, and at one point that was legal. There were national bank notes and a variety of things like that. and that was actually made illegal by the U.S. government. So that's actually not an option anymore, for folks to do something like that. So, I mean, I guess you could have, L.A. weed bucks or something like that if that's what you're trying to accomplish here. But the other thing I thought about, guys, and I mean, this is silly and facetious all at the same time. This is not a new issue. This is a problem that's been going on for years. They used to have mob banks back in the day, banks that were sort of known entities for laundering money for illegal operations, if you will. This isn't an illegal operation, but it's similar in that they don't have a legal way of doing anything with their funds.
Well, couldn't these pot shops out in California or wherever they may be, couldn't they bring their cash to Mobile Bay Coins and buy gold with cash?
Well, that's actually something that a lot of people do, and that's also why the government regulates how large of a transaction you can do with cash and not have paperwork to follow that. For example, John, if you came into the shop with $10,000 or more in cash, there's actually a separate set of forms we have to fill out to report that cash transaction to the federal government so they know what's going on. And you could be depositing that in your bank. It doesn't matter if it's at your bank, if you're doing a transaction somewhere legally, 10 grand or more, you have to fill out paperwork and forms to show the government what you're doing with it. And it's an anti-money laundering law that's been out there since 1970, if I'm not mistaken.
And that's why you remember that all my transactions I've had at Mobile Bay Coins, whether it be silver or gold, have always been smaller than that.
Well, and that's the thing, is a lot of people, want to do small transactions, and that's perfectly acceptable. If you want to do a big transaction and you want to do it in cash, that's fine too, but there's going to be a paper trail. And for people that are in that business out there in Colorado, that creates a problem for them because they don't want that paper trail and they don't want that history behind it. But you're right. People could buy gold or silver. They could buy, gold jewelry, gold bullion, rare coins, and they could certainly convert their money from cash into other assets that they could store in a lot smaller space, for one, or turn around and resell at a later date and sort of, transition it that way. But it's certainly an interesting problem for folks that are in that business and for how the government has made them work.
All right, Angela, we've only got about 30 seconds left. Just want to mention Mobile Bay Coins is at 2204 Government Street in Midtown. So if you want to go and turn your cash, not your dope money, but if you will, well, we don't care where the money comes from. Just go there, turn it into gold or silver or even jewelry. You can go do that at Mobile Bay Coins, 2204 Government Street, and look for them on Facebook. Great pictures of their different items on Facebook. Angelo, thanks for the great info, and have a great day.
Well, you too, guys.
You've heard the news.
It's a new generation of missiles.
You know the story.
All options are on the table.
Now it's time to share your opinion.
We have a very serious issue in the world right now called North Korea.
News Radio 710, WNTM.
Bess is here from Lazy Boy. What are we talking about?
Fishing, Mary.
What does that have to do with decorating and redesigning a room?
Uncle Henry has a lot to do with it.
I thought you'd say that.
Okay, Dan, it works like this. A lot of spouses don't fish, but their husbands or significant others do fish. And we do have one of the world's largest fishing rodeos in our own backyard.
For sure.
You know what happens to those who don't fish, do you?
What?
Well, they stay home, they look at the rooms, they think about how much money the family's spending on fishing and not on the home where they spend most of their time.
And?
So this is what happened to a darling friend of mine.
Oh, let me guess. She wanted furniture so her hubby would be comfy when he got home from fishing.
Well, she decided the family room was ready to retire, and the fact that they had recently bought a new boat only served to reinforce the decision.
So what happened?
Well, we looked at some beautiful fabrics, and then we looked at leather.
Let me guess, she hooked some leather furniture at a great price.
Well, you know what happy family's all about, don't you?
Keeping Mama happy.
Mm-hmm. You're quite the fishing guy, Bess.
Well, just wait till you see what I can do coaching football.
When was the last time you walked out of a mattress store feeling confident about your purchase? These places exist for one reason. For a highly trained, commission-driven salesperson to dupe you into spending way too much money on a mattress. Hi, my name is Neil, and I'm one of the co-founders of Casper. Casper was created with a single goal in mind: deliver a great night's sleep at an incredible value. So we hired a team of engineers and designers to develop a single perfect mattress that sleeps cool and has just the right sink and bounce. We sell the Casper mattress online, skipping the markups of mattress stores, and we let you try it out in your own home for 100 nights risk-free. In less than 3 years, we've rapidly become the internet's favorite mattress. In fact, it now has more than 20,000 reviews with an average of 4.8 stars. Try us out today.
Simply go to Casper.com and use code EVENT to get $50 towards your mattress purchase. Terms and conditions apply. That's gift code EVENT at Casper.com for $50 towards your mattress purchase. Casper.com. Thanks for checking us out.
Don't get caught without a generator for the next power outage. At Bachelor Service Heating and Air, they can install a Generac brand generator in your home or business. Get details at bachelorservice.com. It's service worth remembering. Certification number 17070.
I'm talking with Jim Bird of Safe Harbor Financial Service.
And we're here on Facebook. Hello, Facebook. And Darwin, we're about to talk with Darwin on the radio. Darwin of Local 15. In fact, Darwin, we're not on the radio yet. We're just on Facebook Live while we're waiting for traffic and weather to play.
Oh, okay. So we can tell everybody what we really think.
Well, as long as you...
Hey, Darwin, it's John McNeil. How are you this morning?
John, I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great.
So no, we still have a lot of people. We're also streaming live on YouTube. So YouTube and Facebook, and these videos stay around forever. So we still have to keep our innermost thoughts to ourselves.
That's okay. I don't think anyone really wants to know my innermost thoughts anyway. I don't even really care about them.
Well, same here. I'm embarrassed that I don't have that many innermost thoughts.
Oh, well, that's too bad. We'll come up with some for you.
Now, before we go on the radio, though, is there a particular story that you'd like us to talk about?
Well, there are a couple. There's an odd story about a pig. Have you heard this story?
I have not. Okay, all right. Well, I want to learn this on the air. I want to be surprised.
Talk about ducks and pigs.
And so we also have the ducks in Fairhope.
Well, this one is actually a pretty serious one, but it has kind of a weird, almost humorous thread to it because of what the pig's name is.
Oh.
Arnold.
All right.
Yes, you would think.
All right. Well, Darwin, stand by. We're about to go on radio here, right after Mr. Dunn's, or the young man that does weather with you in the morning.
Oh, Jake.
Jake,
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Right after Jake's weather.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Stand by. Here we go.
96 is our high. 99 is the record. That was set back in 1968. Partly cloudy skies and only a slim chance of a thunderstorm. Should be a quiet night in the mid-70s, and it's hot again on Friday, middle 90s, before cooler, stormy weather moves in Saturday. I'm Jake Dunn for this iHeartRadio station.
Your home for traffic and weather on the 9s every morning. This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. We have news coming up in 10 minutes from Fox and from Local 15. Here with John McNeil, MALFinancial.com, and welcoming Darwin back from Local 15. Darwin, good morning.
Good morning to you both. How are you guys?
I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for this story that you're going to share with
Yeah,
us.
Darwin told us during the commercial break he's got a story that has some real serious elements to it about a pig.
Well, yeah, it's one of those stories. You know, Uncle Henry, you're used to the term of reading a story cold, right?
And for people outside of our industry, this is where you're on radio or television and you have not pre-read the script and you're learning the story just when your listener or viewer is learning the story. Yes.
Yeah, you're reading a line. Now, I did not take this one cold, thanks. The reason why I probably didn't was because I was writing it for radio this morning for you guys. But it's got a serious point to it, very serious. And then there's well, you'll understand. Okay, there's this girl. She's playing outside in Rogersville, which is in northern Alabama. 3-year-old girl now, pretty little girl, and the neighbor has this 400-pound pig next door. Okay, she's playing with her 2 older brothers. The pig comes from next door, gets on top of her, and bites a chunk out of her arm.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it's a serious story, right?
Right.
I mean, this little girl, a 400-pound pig, has wandered out of the yard and attacked her. And so bad she had to have stitches. They took her to the hospital in Huntsville, and she's going to be okay. We had video of her walking around with a big bandage on her arm. And her mother saying, this pig has done this before, gotten out and bitten people. So then I'm reading on down here, and the pig's name is Booger. So that, to me, when you're reading a story cold, and that's why I say you don't want to read it cold, because to me, if I had read that live on the air cold, when I got to the part where the 400-pound pig named Booger, I would have totally lost it on the air. And they don't want to do that when a little girl's hurt. She's going to be okay.
Right.
She was walking around smiling. But now they're going to have to take Booger down and test him for diseases. So Booger is about to become bacon.
Well,
a lot of bacon.
and also, it's the name of the pig, all of this, but the idea that there are people that own a 400-pound pig and they can't.
Well, that's disturbing, isn't it?
Well, the fact that they can't manage the pig, that the pig keeps getting out. I mean, how?
And it's bitten several people. Now, I would hate to be the person who delivers the mail. And
exactly.
Have to run away from Booger, you're being chased by a 400-pound pig.
Yeah, this is.
I don't know how fast they can run, but
this is not good for property values when there's a pig that is going around. There have been animals in the news.
Their grass is beautiful.
Yeah. And we saw that you've covered the story about ducks in Fairhope. The feeding of the ducks no longer allowed.
That's sad, isn't it? That's sad. I guess for a while there, we had the whole geese slaughter out at the park here, where the city went out there and killed all the geese because they didn't like them fertilizing the lawns and the water out there, which caused an uproar. And we're trying to keep an eye on that to let you know when it's going to happen again if it does. But yeah, that's something you did when you were a kid, right?
Well, sure, yeah.
Ducks and geese.
Yeah,
so
it's been going on for a long, long time.
Well, and I guess part of the reason is that they feel it's unsanitary, and people that go to the beach don't want to have to step on that when they go wading into the water. So I guess that's it's a hard one to call. You hate to give up a tradition, but at the same time, you don't want to have a new tradition of walking through that.
No, you
call it on the air.
You don't. You've done. We've gone from Booger to other things here.
Yes,
our last name of the family is not Dawson. Booger Dawson was the name of the guy on American Pie, I think. I can't remember one of those.
That's right. I don't think so. But if it was, don't you think if it was, we would have already said it? It would have been an integral part of the story.
All right.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, Darwin, we're almost out of time here. I just wanted to mention that I don't know if you had a chance to see this or not, but last night I was watching Local 15, and I got really emotionally touched by the salute that you do to first responders, and you had an incredible...
Oh, we aired that. We aired that this morning of the lady that had cancer and unfortunately passed away, but she was shown an act of kindness by one of our police officers, and her husband is a firefighter, and they just created this bond between them. It's a very touching story. In fact, when it went off, I remember Kelly turned to me and she said, "That is the best first responder story that Greg Peterson has ever done." And you can see it online, and I encourage you to go online and check it out at local15tv.com.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it, because I did not expect to get so touched by that story, and it's remarkable. Again, that's local15tv.com. Regular feature where first responders are highlighted. Hey, Darwin, got to run, but thank you for your time.
Enjoyed talking with both of you, and keep an eye out for Booger.
We will. Thank you very much, Darwin.
Uncle Henry's excited about all this bacon coming on the market.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We need to get it to the guy that, by the way, have you tried that bacon? This is not a commercial for this bacon. I think it's the Bill E. bacon that's made in Fairhope.
No, I hadn't tried it.
It's been in the news, and Johnny Gwynn helped me do a taste test of it online.
Was it good?
Oh, my goodness.
Better than the Applewood smoked thick cut bacon?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was amazing. So
Well,
just
send me the link. I want to go
in
get
the
Can you buy it in the store around here?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can get it in local stores. I'll get you more information on it before you leave here
Okay.
today. But it was amazing.
I'm thinking of a BLT for lunch if I can get some of that stuff, you know.
It is it's the kind of bacon that you may not want to put it in other foods.
Just by itself.
You just want to have it by itself.
Okay.
That good. All right. Well, that's what's wonderful about talking about pigs is it always leads to bacon. All right. When we come back, we're going to have news, traffic, weather, all of that for you, and then we're going to attempt to make telephonic communication with a Senate candidate, one you may be familiar with because he's local. Trip Pittman will join us for some conversation on the phone. That's when we continue here on the Uncle Henry Show.
When was the last time you walked out of a mattress store feeling confident about your purchase? These places exist for one reason, for a highly trained, commission-driven salesperson to dupe you into spending way too much money on a mattress. Hi, my name is Neil, and I'm one of the co-founders of Casper. Casper was created with a single goal in mind: deliver a great night's sleep at an incredible value. So we hired a team of engineers and designers to develop a single perfect mattress that sleeps cool and has just the right sink and bounce. We sell the Casper mattress online, skipping the markups of mattress stores, and we let you try it out in your own home for 100 nights risk-free. In less than 3 years, we've rapidly become the internet's favorite mattress. In fact, it now has more than 20,000 reviews with an average of 4.8 stars. Try us out today.
Simply go to Casper.com and use code RESTED to get $50 towards your mattress purchase. Terms and conditions apply. That's gift code RESTED at Casper.com for $50 towards your mattress purchase. Casper.com. Thanks for checking us out.
Here with Ron of Mobile Bay Coins. Ron, if I'm going to sell a coin or jewelry, what's the best piece of advice you can give me?
Would be shop it around, get multiple offers, make sure you get the most for your item, for your buck. Same thing when you're buying, shop around what people are selling that item for, whether it's gold, silver, estate jewelry items. Make sure you're not paying too much for an item. The thing that sickens me the most is when an estate comes in and we find out that somebody paid sometimes 100 times too much what they could have got the same item for, or they were sold items with great packaging and great boxes, but the items contained therein were worth almost nothing. So shop it around, be smart about it, and come by Mobile Bay Coins. We can make recommendations based on the items you have, your avenues available to you.
So if I understand you correctly, the best piece of advice is shop it around.
Shop it around.
Shop it around. Mobile Bay Coins, 2204 Government Street in Midtown Mobile. Look for them on Facebook. You'll also find them online at mobilebaycoins.com.
You're home for Rush. Weekdays at 11. News Radio 710 WNTM Mobile. An iHeart radio station. 99.9 WMXC HD3 Mobile. 710 Time Saver Traffic from the Dean McCrary Volvo Traffic Center.
We're still seeing a backup on eastbound I-10 of between 2 and 3 miles in length through the Pensacola area. The culprit here was an oversized load that had the load shift on it. This was a bit before the Highway 29 exit, Pensacola Boulevard. And again, delays, which do appear to be improving, still remain pretty thick through that area. No major Bayway problems this morning. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation. Join the T.J. Martell Foundation in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn more.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Good Thursday morning. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Get ready for a hot Thursday. In fact, we'll call it a high today of 96. The record high today in Mobile is 99. That was set back in 1968. When you factor in the humidity, it will feel like 105, and we have only a 20% chance of a thunderstorm. Again, I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
Come on, Republicans. You can do it on health care. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's President Trump cheerleading on Twitter this morning, telling the GOP not to let the American people down. The day after another Republican plan to repeal Obamacare failed to pass.
Democrats are not going to continue to try and amend the House plan
that is already dead.
Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, but Republicans have many more votes in store.
A skinny repeal of the Affordable Care Act may emerge as the only proposal able to win 50 Republican votes, a proposal designed to do away with key provisions of the Affordable Care Act.
I think we want to do as much as we can.
Senate Republican Whip John Cornyn says conversations about the idea are continuing, but the idea would repeal the health care law's requirements to purchase insurance. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Blast off in Iran. That country's media reports a successful launch of a rocket carrying a satellite into space today. U.S. officials have feared Iran is using the same technology for a long-range missile, like North Korea recently tested, that could reach Alaska. No one will be riding any rides at the Ohio State Fair today as inspectors look at them all after a deadly malfunction last night on the Fireball.
We'll investigate. We're not going to take anybody's word for anything.
That's Governor John Kasich. Fox's Jeff Manasso details what went wrong live.
Dave, it's a ride that twists people around and swings back and forth like a pendulum. Cell phone video capturing the moment it crashed, broke apart, and bodies went flying.
And then the door hit the ground. He wasn't breathing.
An 18-year-old man did die. 7 others hurt. Officials in Columbus say the ride had been inspected several times. The malfunction also prompting the California State Fair to shut down a similar ride there. Dave.
Jeff, a capture early this morning on a highway in North Carolina. Sheriff's deputies finally caught up with a man who'd eluded them for 6 days, a suspect in a break-in in the Pisgah National Forest area. Fox News, fair and balanced.
A love triangle leads to deadly violence. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton with this iHeartRadio news update. A local man is facing a murder charge this morning after deputies say a love triangle turned deadly in Theodore. They say Wesley Bohannon shot and killed Joshua Poole last night at Poole's home on Hunter Point Drive. Investigators believe the 2 men were involved with the same woman. A Pensacola diver is recovering from a devastating lionfish sting. The injury left Dr. Tom Roberts' leg covered in severe blisters. Roberts was 30 miles offshore Saturday when he was stung. He was rushed to Sacred Heart Hospital. He's expected to make a full recovery. Several Alabama Republicans are standing by Attorney General Jeff Sessions in spite of President Trump's criticism of him. Wednesday, Representative Mo Brooks even said if the president does fire Sessions, he would forfeit his own campaign in the race for Senate. That way, he says, if Sessions is fired, he says Sessions could return to his congressional seat. Mosquito spraying now underway. The Mobile County Health Department telling us trucks will cover 50 routes throughout Mobile County. They've not been able to do that because of the heavy rain in the area, but officials tell us now it's time to start spraying again. News breaks while you sleep, so when you wake, we'll catch you up on what's happening along the Gulf Coast and around the world every weekday morning on Local 15 Today. We start at 5 a.m. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton for this iHeartRadio station.
I'm Jason Flom, founding board member of the Innocence Project, and my new podcast is Wrongful Conviction, available on...
Hold on, Mr. Pittman.
Incredible stories of tragedy and triumph against impossible odds. You've got to hear it to believe it. Wrongful Conviction from iHeart Studios, available now on iHeartRadio.
From the Mercedes-Benz of Mobile Studios, this is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM The Jag. You can also watch. We're streaming video onto News Radio 710 WNTM's Facebook page and also on the Uncle Henry Show YouTube channel here with John McNeil of McNeil Aarons Lambert Financial Group, awaiting the arrival of Ed Aarons, who's in the building.
Yes, Elvis has landed.
Elvis has landed, and now we're going to go to the phones. We have one of the Senate candidates running on the Republican side. Trip Pittman is with us. Trip Pittman, good morning.
Good morning to you, Uncle Henry, and to you, John McNeil.
Good morning, Trip. How are you today? Are you on the road again, as usual?
Actually, I'm in my office this morning for a little while trying to catch up on a little work before we do hit the road again, headed down to South Baldwin to meet with some of the groups that are down on their having their retreats.
Well, great.
Here is question one. Why are you doing this? There are a lot of people going for this. What has got you interested specifically in running for the Senate?
Well, Uncle Henry, I love this state and love this country. I've served in uniform before. As you know, I had been in the state Senate for 10 years and had made the decision I was not going to run again because I've supported term limits and believed in leading by example. And then this door opened up at a unique moment in history with the election of President Trump, and there's a political revolution going on. And I felt like I had the skill set of being a businessman for 30 years, a successful self-made businessman, and, you know, we haven't elected a businessman to the U.S. Senate in 110 years. And also the fact that I've actually governed and passed budgets and balanced them and paid back debt and had to work, had worked in the Alabama State Senate, which has the same rules as the U.S. Senate, and been effective. So I just felt like I could make a difference in Washington, and it was up to the people to have a choice to decide who they think would best represent them, not the former governor, the only vote the current senator has, and certainly not the Washington crowd.
That's a lot, Tripp, and you and I, looking back, I think you and I have known each other for about 36 or 37 years. Yeah, and I've followed you that whole time, and really am glad that you've thrown your name into the hat. One thing, that Uncle Henry and I have been talking about on the radio this morning, Tripp, is the situation between Trump and our esteemed Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Where do you come down? Where do you stand on what's going on between Trump and Sessions at this time?
Well, I support Senator Sessions 100%. I mean, he's somebody that I supported the first time he ran for the U.S. Senate. He's an outstanding and honorable man, and I just believe that he was caught in a situation that he didn't think was very significant when he actually talked to some people that, affiliated with Russia, and that certainly he didn't have any anticipation that this, molehill would grow into the mountain that it has. I think it is overblown. The Russians have been trying to affect us for decades as we have them. I mean, we fought the Cold War, and we still, have a lot of different strategic interest around the world. But, I think that Jeff Sessions did the right thing when he did recuse himself. Once it did blow up, and it was the fact that he had some meetings, even though they were, I think, were insignificant and coincidental, that I think he did the right thing. And so, I believe...
Tripp Pittman, I'm sorry. I need you to hang on just a moment. We've got traffic and weather. We'll be right back in 90 seconds and continue to get your answer on this question about Jeff Sessions. Stand by.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
We're seeing a much better flow of traffic now on eastbound I-10 through Pensacola. We had an oversized load off on the right shoulder of the road that really caused a backup of several miles this morning. Looks like that situation has been rectified, and the main thing is the delay is now gone, so better news for drivers there. Highway 90 remains closed at Harold Street in Santa Rosa County. A train tanker car carrying liquid CO2 began to off-gas, which sounds hazardous, but we're being told there is no impact on the public, but traffic there remains diverted. I'm Ray Romero.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Hello and happy Thursday. I'm Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Your forecast calls for a high of 96 today with partly cloudy skies and only a 20% chance of a thunderstorm. Clear and warm tonight. We're down to 75. Then we're in the mid-90s on Friday before cooler and stormy weather rolls in Saturday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News for this iHeart radio station.
This report is brought to you by Compassion International. Every child is born with talents, hopes, and dreams, but poverty will steal those dreams. You can help a child find hope when you become their sponsor with Compassion International. Give a child a chance to dream again. Find out how at compassion.com/radio.
Traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 9s every morning. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
We're back here on the Uncle Henry Show. John McNeil, Ed Aarons is now with us. Ed Aarons, good morning to you.
Good morning, Uncle Henry.
And Tripp Pittman, candidate for U.S. Senate, is with us. And before you had to be interrupted by traffic and weather, you were talking about Jeff Sessions. What do you think about the way he's being treated by the president?
Well, good morning, Ed, and thank God for air conditioning.
Amen, brother. Preach on.
I just don't think it's right. I mean, I support the president. I gave him personal contributions, and I believe that as a businessman like me, that he's got a job he needs to do. Senator Sessions, his endorsement, I know to me and a lot of people, gave the president the conservative, I think, credentials that helped to carry him to victory. So they are linked together. I think it's, as Franklin said, they need to hang together, or surely they'll hang separately. And so I encourage the president and the attorney general to work together on the president's agenda and to do the business of the people and to put this behind them. I think that's the best thing for all of us. And let's move forward. You've got two good men there that need to focus on the people's business.
Tripp, you mentioned something earlier, just a little while ago, that the state of Alabama has not elected a senator to Washington in 110 years.
That's been a businessman.
That's been a businessman. That elected someone who's been a businessman. When we look at the so-called swamp, I think 60% of the Senate is made up of lawyers. It may not be quite that high, but it's about 60% of lawyers. And you being a businessman, you would bring something, in our opinion, would be welcomed. And one thing I want to just, we know we've got about 20 people who are running for this seat, you being one of them. But when we look at Luther Strange or Roy Moore or Mo Brooks, what sets you apart from those three, the three big that we're looking at?
Well, John, I think the fact that I am a businessman, that I've started my own business, understand all the challenges that you have to deal with when dealing with customers. You have to take care of your customers. You rely on repeat business and referrals, as Uncle Henry and Ed and you all know. If you don't do things in the proper manner, if you don't give people the value for the services rendered, you don't stay in business very long, and you certainly don't grow your business. So I understand service, I understand work, and I understand accomplishing things. I think people in politics a lot of times like to talk about things, and they equate that with results. I'm results-oriented. I've done that, and so I take that experience of making a profit and taking care of customers, and I've taken that to the state Senate, where in 10 years I've gotten into Senate leadership. I've taken over both budgets and have made tough decisions. The first year I was Education Budget Chairman, we had to cut the budget 15%, over $1 billion. We had to realign how we did retirement and health care. We changed the tenure reform in order to get the best teachers in the classroom and do away with an arduous arbitration process. So I've passed bills that that delayed the expansion of Obamacare, have drug tested for benefits with Medicaid, Medicaid fraud. So I've done the kind of things that people talk about doing in Washington. I've done them at the state level. I've got the experience. There's a process in football and there's a process in politics. And there's a process in business, and I understand those. So I think those talents, those God-given talents, enable me to be the most effective candidate. But that's ultimately up to the people on August 15th.
One thing, because we're almost out of time here, Tripp, and really appreciate you calling in.
Well, now, Tripp, can you stick around for another segment?
Oh, I'd be more than happy to.
Okay, great.
For you.
Well, this is a question that you mentioned earlier. You've been in the state politics for 10 years now. You've been a big supporter and proponent for term limits, and therefore you've decided not to run again at the state level and looking to go on to Washington. Will you support term limits when you get to Washington?
All right.
Yes. Let me just keep it simple. Yes.
All right. Well, good. Okay. All right. Well, hang on. We'll have another segment here with Tripp Pittman as we continue. Stick with us. John McNeil, Ed Aarons here as we talk with Senate candidate Tripp Pittman. More in a moment on the Uncle Henry Show. All right, we're back here on now. Tripp Pittman is still with us. We're not on radio right now. We're going to go back on radio here in just a few minutes after we hear from our sponsors and get traffic and weather. But right now, we're together, Tripp Pittman, on both Facebook Live via video and also on YouTube, so we can have some conversation here for our viewers while we're waiting to go back on radio. We want to ask you a lot of serious things when we go back. And by the way, I'd like an opportunity to have a more long-form interview with you without commercials sometime before the election, if we could fit that into your schedule.
Certainly, Uncle Henry, as soon as possible, so we can disseminate. But you just let me know. I mean, I'll be happy to contact you.
I'll get in touch with you after I check with my doctor about dissemination.
The older you get, the more important dissemination gets.
I understand that. Now we're gonna when we get back on the radio, well, of course we have some serious questions to ask you, and I hope you don't get upset by us asking this, but we are curious. I know that Mr. Shelby's very tall and Mr. Strange is very tall, and I know that you're very, very tall. Are you taller than those two guys? Shorter? How do you match up with them?
Well, I think I fall right in between them in terms of verticality. I think I certainly have a lot more substance than
verticality.
From Alabama.
Wow.
Okay, well, and we'll make sure we stick with substance when we're back on the radio. But here's a serious question for our Facebook and YouTube viewers. The last time I had a chance to interview you, it was a 2-hour interview, and you expressed a lot of frustration with how difficult it was to get things done in Montgomery, that we had problems in the way that people interacted in Montgomery, the power structure, and that it was just difficult to get good things done. And when I look to Washington, it looks like Montgomery on steroids. How would do you think you would be able to really, do you think you'd face the same kind of frustration in Washington that you faced in Montgomery?
Well, certainly you will have frustration, but looking at the record, Uncle Henry, it is amazing some of the things that I have accomplished. The difference I've made with the budgets, I think the longest period of history of balancing budgets without proration, have made tough decisions with health care and retirement. Fought the expansion of Obamacare, supported the toughest immigration laws in the country. So I've dealt with health care, and I understand, the reality is I understand the relationship between the federal budgets and the state budgets and how we have to give more flexibility to the states to be more accountable. If we're going to have any hope of trying to manage our way through these programs, we have to reduce the federal regulations. So really it's a matter of duty, Uncle Henry. It's not probably my first choice, but
right.
When this opportunity came available, having lived through a plane crash, 10 years ago, that's what led me to get into politics. I believe the good Lord has a plan, and this being the 10th anniversary, while I was trying to get out, when this door opened, I felt compelled to offer myself and find out what the good Lord wants me to do. The big sin is not using the talents that God gives you.
We're going to be back on radio along with Facebook and YouTube in a little less than 90 seconds. Before we go back on, when you see what's going on, for example, in the Senate right now with health care and an attempt to do some type of reform, do you have flashbacks to Montgomery, or can you relate to what's going on there?
Certainly, because it's a process, and because the House has passed a bill, passed a form of the bill. Obviously, it'll have to go back to the House. It'll have to be a conference committee. So I'm glad the Senate has taken up debate. That's the first hurdle, and what we need is more debate. And like I said, we not only need somebody that will vote right, Uncle Henry, but somebody that actually has a strong conservative philosophy that can speak to that and talk to the moral imperative, to the need for a good economy. Those kind of things are the things that you need a senator that can do. So this debate has opened up. It's important. We need a reform that repeals Obamacare and that has a more free market, transparent, accountable process if we're going to manage health care costs. But, yeah, I see the similarities, but it only convinces me more that no matter what the challenges are, that I have the skill set to be effective, or as effective as anyone can be in that environment.
All right, stand by. We're about to go back to radio.
Check. Opinions? Check. This is the Uncle Henry Show, only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Here with John McNeil, Ed Aarons, and Tripp Pittman, Senate candidate, is with us. Tripp Pittman, one of the things I like to ask candidates while they're running for office is when you meet with voters, people that are sizing you up, and you go out and speak to different groups, shake hands, what are you hearing from people? What are the top concerns people bring to you?
I don't think they're looking for leadership. Uncle Henry, I think first thing you need people that are going to come out and actually campaign and go before the people. If you don't go before the people when you're running, what's the likelihood you're going to get with them after you get elected? And that's been the strategy of the sitting senator. He's not been coming to debates. He hasn't been coming to forums. He hasn't been getting out and meeting the people like he should. But what you understand is people are looking for leadership. People understand that we're at a critical moment in history, and that we need somebody that can go up there and bring back some fiscal responsibility. I mean, we're fixing to pass $20 trillion of national debt. So we've got to get this economy growing, which will help us to, people to be more successful, more creative, more innovative, work harder. They'll share some of that money with government, and that'll help us to bring these deficits under control with good management. So we need that, and we need to remove some of these regulations. So people are just concerned about the future. And so we need an optimistic leader. You know, the first man I ever voted for was Ronald Reagan. I guess he put an imprint on me, and if I wasn't an optimist, I wouldn't be in office. But we need an optimistic leader that understands how important free enterprise is. But we also need a leader that will talk to accountability. You know, liberty requires responsibility. And we'd expect that people will take care of themselves and their families, and that able-bodied people will take advantage of the opportunities they have to get a good education, to get the right training so they can go out and be productive. And so I think that's what we need, is we need a leader that's optimistic, that understands the free enterprise system, that American exceptionalism, and will stand up and stand strong for the American values, and also for those people that get up every day and go to work.
Trip Pittman, when we were in our commercial break for radio, we were on Facebook talking about the health care debate in Washington right now. If you were elected and you were put in the middle of all of that, what would your thoughts be on how to handle health care in the country?
Well, what I've done in Alabama is led the fight against the expansion of Obamacare successfully. And so what I would do when I go to Washington is work to repeal Obamacare. It's a terrible program. It's undermined the individual and business health insurance markets. It's created tremendous instability and uncertainty. So we've got to repeal it. But ultimately that starts with debate, which has started in Washington. But we need to prevail and force the repeal of Obamacare or a major modifications to bring back options, to bring back free market principles, transparency, so people understand the cost of health care and the options that how they can purchase health care. So this is one of the biggest issues facing the country, and I talk about economic growth. It's 17% of the GDP. Warren Buffett says it's the biggest headwind facing the economy. This issue has to be resolved if we're going to have a stronger economy and thus a strong, more opportunity for our people. So I jump right in the middle of it, stay true to my limited government, free market principles, and try to do everything I can to repeal all of Obamacare, or certainly most of it.
We have about 3 minutes left here. John McNeil, Ed Aarons, do you have anything you want to ask Trip Pittman?
You know, Trip, listening to you say the things you're saying are obviously all true to what we want to accomplish and what we want somebody to accomplish. And Uncle Henry has mentioned several times, when you get to Washington, what would you do? And I want to go back to the term limits, because you answered the question, will you support term limits? And you said yes. That's not a simple thing to do. You have stood by it. That's why you're not running again for the state office. Is it going to be something that a headwind that you're going to face in Washington to get these career politicians to bite in and say, look, let's limit these terms? Because we've got people up there that have been there for 30 and 40 and 50 years living off of the federal government.
Hey, John, it's going to be a Category 5 hurricane. That's why you need somebody of substance that won't get blown away, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, exactly right, John. You got to go up there, and I think the key, what you just said, I lead by example, because I'm not running, and I'm not a hypocrite by saying, I support something and not doing it. I pledge not to serve more than 2 terms in the U.S. Senate, and I'm going to go up there, and people are looking for people that lead by example, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get up there like I did in Montgomery and develop relationships with allies, people that have similar philosophies, and work with them to put the light of day on the rest of the group. And so the American people are tired of getting, played, the fake right and run left, the do nothing, the secret deals and the secret meetings. That's not my MO. As some of the people that know how much mischief I get to in Montgomery putting the light of day on things, they say, D.C. deserves Trip. And certainly that's where I'm coming from, is I'm going up there to represent the people of Alabama, not the Washington crowd. I'm not going up there to hang out. I don't have to be a U.S. Senator, but I have to be honorable. And I have to go up there and work hard to try to preserve, the shining city on the hill, the greatest country in the history of civilization. And I'll do, with God's help, with the support of the people from Alabama who've contributed and supported my campaign, and it's so humbling, we'll go up there and do the best I can do. But I'll always be true to myself and be true to the citizens that elect me.
All right, Trip Pittman, great having you here. I'll be in touch. We'll try and get together next week.
Thank you, Uncle Henry. Thank you, John. Thank you, Ed. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
You too, Trip.
There he goes, Trip Pittman. Very tall. Very tall. You mentioned that you've known him for many, many years. I think he was involved with Lillian Jackson's March Against Crime.
Yeah. Like I said, I think I've known Trip for 36, 37 years. I met him at the University of Alabama. He was several years behind me. And I shared with you off the air, Uncle Henry. A lot of people know that Tripp was involved in a plane crash about 10 years ago.
Right.
And very, very lucky with the hand of God on him to survive that. But back then, when he was a freshman at the University of Alabama, he lost his father in a plane crash. I was with him the day that he was told that his father had passed away, and very moving.
All right, we are going to go to news, traffic, weather, all of that, and then back with more here with John McNeil and Ed Aarons on the Uncle Henry Show.
I have told you it's the media running things on the left, not the Democrats. Here's some evidence. Democrats rolled out their latest election year slogans. The New York Times editorial board says, no, you got to lay out your agenda. So the Democrats have to demonstrate to the country that at least one political party wants to get things done before the midterm elections in 2018. The Republicans, those mean old guys, they won't help them, but the Democrats should press forward anyway because the New York Times says America will notice. Now, what are these big agenda items? Raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, new job training programs, lowering prescription drug costs, reining in big corporate power and giving power back to the people, expanding family leave laws to mandate more paid time off to employees while ignoring the consequences to business. Oh, and they also want to talk to Trump about his infrastructure promises. But you see, here's the thing. Minimum wage hikes kill jobs. Attacking businesses with new feel-good regulations kills jobs. Creating more government programs grows government, not the economy. There's nothing the Democrats are offering now that they have not offered before. That list is sick. In other words, the new Democrat agenda is the same old Democrat agenda that's been failing for them for years. Total loser, with some brand new slogans that they've ripped off from Papa John's. That's about it. You've heard the old saying, you get what you pay for. Well, it's certainly true for tractors, folks. Some companies think you'll buy a tractor just for the paint color, maybe a phony low price. Mahindra wants you to read the fine print. You'll see that no one has a better warranty than Mahindra's 7-year limited powertrain warranty. Only Mahindra has MCRD engine technology for lower operating costs, better fuel efficiency, and hassle-free maintenance. Mahindra's XTV utility vehicles come standard, 25% more legroom, and a full 3-year warranty. That's 6 times longer than the other guys. So get your work done, America, with a Mahindra, the toughest tractors and utility vehicles on earth. Learn about Mahindra's financing and low monthly payments at MahindraUSA.com, the world's #1 selling tractor.
Take advantage of rock-bottom prices and test drive a Mahindra today at J&K Tractor in Satsuma or call 251-679-8677. That's 251-679-8677.
Our most serious accident in the Mobile area has occurred on Moffett Road and Forest Hill. Delays on eastbound Moffett in particular are pretty thick there. Also a breakdown on Hillcrest and Wall Street. And Highway 90 still closed at Harold Street in Santa Rosa County. That's where a train tanker car carrying liquid CO2 began off-gassing earlier this morning. Authorities say there's no threat to the public, but as a precaution, Highway 90 remains closed. I'm Ray Romero.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Good Thursday morning. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Get ready for a hot Thursday. In fact, we'll call it a high today of 96. The record high today in Mobile is 99. That was set back in 1968. When you factor in the humidity, it will feel like 105, and we have only a 20% chance of a thunderstorm. Again, I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeartRadio station.
A love triangle leads to deadly violence. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton with this iHeartRadio news update. A local man is facing a murder charge this morning after deputies say a love triangle turned deadly in Theodore. They say Wesley Bohannon shot and killed Joshua Poole last night at Poole's home on Hunter Point Drive. Investigators believe the two men were involved with the same woman. A Pensacola diver is recovering from a devastating lionfish sting. The injury left Dr. Tom Roberts' leg covered in severe blisters. Roberts was 30 miles offshore Saturday when he was stung. He was rushed to Sacred Heart Hospital. He's expected to make a full recovery. Several Alabama Republicans are standing by Attorney General Jeff Sessions in spite of President Trump's criticism of him. Wednesday, Representative Mo Brooks even said if the president does fire Sessions, he would forfeit his own campaign in the race for Senate. That way, he says, if Sessions is fired, he says Sessions could return to his congressional seat. Mosquito spraying now underway. The Mobile County Health Department telling us trucks will cover 50 routes throughout Mobile County. They've not been able to do that because of heavy rain in the area, but officials tell us now it's time to start spraying again. News breaks while you sleep, so when you wake, we'll catch you up on what's happening along the Gulf Coast and around the world every weekday morning on Local 15 Today. We start at 5 a.m. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton for this iHeart radio station.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Several hours of debate ahead of senators on repealing Obamacare as the president keeps up the pressure on Twitter.
This time writing, come on, Republican senators, you can do it on health care. After 7 years, this is your chance to shine.
Fox's Kevin Corke. A clean Obamacare repeal bill rejected yesterday, and lawmakers, some of them in favor of the so-called skinny repeal, an investigation underway after a deadly accident on the first day of the Ohio State Fair.
It's called the Fireball, a ride that twists people around and swings back and forth like a pendulum. Cell phone video capturing the moment the ride crashed, broke apart, and bodies went flying.
And then the door hit the ground. He wasn't breathing.
An 18-year-old man died, 7 others hurt.
Fox Radio's Jeff Manasso. Fox News. We report. You decide.
Is old Bessie spending more time in the shop than on the road? Is she having a hard time keeping up with your buddies when she does get out? Do you feel more beaten than refreshed after riding? Now just might be the time to trade her in. Mobile Bay Harley-Davidson is offering you the same monthly payment when you trade your bike in towards a new one of the same model family. That's right. New Harley, same payments. Stop in to see them at 3260 Pleasant Valley Road. And remember, at Mobile Bay Harley, there's always a party.
Uncle Henry here. You've probably heard me talk about SAD Healthcare on the radio for years now. Well, right now I want to call your attention to something specific that SAD Healthcare offers families, something called SAD Family Care. SAD Family Care is private duty nursing that you can arrange for your loved one, a certified nursing assistant to come in and help with the activities of daily living. It's kind of like assisted living, but instead of in a facility, it's assisted living in your own home. Or maybe you're taking care of a loved one yourself and you need a break for just a few hours. SAD can come up with a plan that fits your individual needs. And along with certified nursing assistants, you can also arrange visits from LPNs or RNs as needed. You can find out more about SAD Family Care, private duty nursing, at their website, sadhealthcare.com. That's spelled with 2 A's, SAAD, sadhealthcare.com, or call 251-343-9600.
When was the last time you walked out of a mattress store feeling confident about your purchase? These places exist for one reason, for a highly trained, commission-driven salesperson to dupe you into spending way too much money on a mattress. Hi, my name is Neil, and I'm one of the co-founders of Casper. Casper was created with a single goal in mind: deliver a great night's sleep at an incredible value. So we hired a team of engineers and designers to develop a single perfect mattress that sleeps cool and has just the right sink and bounce. We sell the Casper mattress online, skipping the markups of mattress stores, and we let you try it out in your own home for 100 nights risk-free. In less than 3 years, we've rapidly become the internet's favorite mattress. In fact, it now has more than 20,000 reviews with an average of 4.8 stars. Try us out today.
Simply go to Casper.com and use code RESTED to get $50 towards your mattress purchase. Terms and conditions apply. That's gift code RESTED at Casper.com for $50 towards your mattress purchase. Casper.com. Thanks for checking us out.
You're home for Rush every weekday at 11. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. John McNeil is here. Ed Ahrens has joined us. McNeil Ahrens Lambert Financial Group. Going to be here until 10 o'clock, at least on News Radio 710 WNTM. We had the story this morning about the ducks. That Fairhope's going to make it against the rules to feed the ducks at the parks and the beaches. Now, Ed Ahrens, you infamously tell a duck joke. I've heard you tell this joke on the radio months ago. I've heard you tell it at dinner meetings. Would you like to tell your duck joke?
Uncle Henry, I think it'd be most appropriate.
Please do.
3 golfers were struck by lightning while playing golf and went to heaven. And St. Peter met them at the pearly gates and welcomed them and said, guys, we've got the most fantastic golf courses up here that you'll ever see, but we do have one problem. We have a lot of ducks on our golf course. And the problem is if you hit a duck and he squawks, then all the rest of the ducks are going to squawk along with it. And it becomes an unbearable sound. So we have a severe penalty if you hit a duck. And they said, okay. So the first guy gets up on the tee, takes a beautiful swing, and hits a duck. And he squawks, and boy, it just is horrendous, the sound. But here comes St. Peter, and on his arm he has one of the most ugly ladies you could ever imagine. And he has a pair of handcuffs. And he walks up to him and he says, okay, who hit the duck? And this one fellow says, I must confess it was me, St. Peter. So he walks over and snaps the handcuffs on him, snaps the handcuffs on the lady, and says, okay, this is your penalty for eternity. The next guy gets up, hits another duck. So here comes St. Peter, and this time he's got a lady even uglier than the first one. And he says also, okay, who hit the duck? And the guy says, I must confess it was I. And he brings the lady over, handcuffs him, and says, okay, you know the deal. This is your penance for eternity. Third guy gets up, and he hits a beautiful drive right down the middle, doesn't hit a duck or anything, but here comes St. Peter. But this time he has the most beautiful lady on his arm that you could ever imagine. And the golfer comments, he says, wow, what in the world did I do to deserve this? And she walks up to him and says, I don't know about you, but I hit a duck. Feed the ducks.
Ed Aarons with the duck joke, and we've just been joined by the Ivanka of Mobile.
Love that title.
And we'll get her involved in the conversation. What does she think about the duck joke? That and more as we continue right after traffic and weather on the Uncle Henry Show.
Time-saver traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Well, we are still looking at our accident on eastbound Moffett Road near Forest Hill. No major Bayway problems this morning, but there's been a lot of drama along Highway 90 in Santa Rosa County, right at the intersection with Harold Street. A roadway remains closed due to a train tanker car carrying liquid CO2 that began to off-gas, which I guess is a technical term for leak. So they're still dealing with that. This is not being called any sort of public emergency, but 90 remains closed as a precaution. I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Uber. If there's something you want to do before the summer's over and having some extra money can help, get your side hustle on and drive with Uber. It's a totally easy, flexible way to earn extra cash to help you meet your goals. Sign up today at uber.com/drive now.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Hello and happy Thursday. I'm Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Your forecast calls for a high of 96 today with partly cloudy skies and only a 20% chance of a thunderstorm. Clear and warm tonight. We're down to 75. Then we're in the mid-90s on Friday before cooler and stormy weather rolls in Saturday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News for this iHeartRadio station.
This report is brought to you by Bonefish Grill. Announcing new summer duos at Bonefish Grill, like the wood-grilled center-cut sirloin and cold water lobster tail, or cod piccata paired with lobster stuffed shrimp, starting at just $19.90. They're only here for a limited time, and only at Bonefish Grill.
We love Nick Saban. Just wanted to get that out of the way. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Welcome back to the Uncle Henry Show. John McNeil is here. Ed Aarons is here. And we're joined by Virginia McNeil O'Brien. How many times have you heard the duck joke?
A couple of times, but it's a pretty good one. It's a pretty funny one. But
Okay, so you don't have a problem with it, and you did smile big. I noticed that you
Yeah.
still gained some amusement from the punchline of the duck joke.
Oh no, I'm not offended by the duck joke. I think it's pretty funny.
No, I don't think it's an offensive joke. I've watched the audiences, and the reaction is always very positive to the duck joke.
Oh yeah, because you don't know where it's going at first. You kind of wait, where is this going? And then all of a sudden it's the punchline. So Ed does it again with the worst joke.
It makes the afterlife sounds a lot more complicated than I thought.
Yeah, that's right. It does.
Yeah, when you hear
Like
the-
living in Fairhope. With the
But there's
ducks.
golf.
There's golf.
There's golf.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So the president just tweeted during.
Here we go.
He
Drum
just.
roll.
There's no Jeff Sessions mention. He's quoting someone, and this is another tweet where it's ... So we've got to wait for the next tweet. But the tweet reads, and it's in quotation marks, one of the things that has been lost in the politics of this situation is that the Russians collected and spread negative information. So I guess we're going to find out who he's quoting sometime in the next 10 minutes or so when he tweets again.
Suspenseful.
I was telling
limits you to 144 characters or something
140.
like that. 140.
I was telling John McNeil earlier that he is really making, for those of us that are on the air in the morning on radio or TV, he's making our job so much easier just by tweeting during the program. Don't have to think. We just wait for the tweets and relate them to the people.
37 days, 13 hours, and 16 seconds till kickoff. Uncle Henry.
Roll Tide, roll.
Roll Tide.
Now, didn't we establish that even though you're the Ivanka of Mobile, you're not on Twitter?
Yes, I don't tweet. I do have a Twitter tag. I don't know, or Twitter handle, I guess is the proper word for it. But I used to use Twitter more as like a news outlet, and then now they have all the news apps and everything like that on your phone. So I really just use those more, and so I don't really tweet. I should get back into it because of all of the amusing tweets, especially from our president.
Well, what about your young, influential friends? Do all your young, influential friends use Twitter?
I feel like it just depends on the person. I definitely know a lot of people that use Twitter. And I know a lot of people that just scan Twitter, use it more of just sort of to catch up, because, you have to have a lot to say on Twitter if you're going to tweet a lot. Like you probably could. Do you tweet a lot, Uncle Henry?
I do tweet some.
Yeah, you've got a lot to say.
I don't actually, but it's job related. I'm forced to tweet.
Well, yeah, forced to tweet.
I
Yeah,
have it,
forceful tweeting.
Forced tweets.
That should be a crime. But I'm not a huge nowadays though, all the news outlets report all the tweets. So it's like you've got all these different outlets of it. But it is definitely it used to be a young generational thing, of the millennials, and then now it's really taken over to the older generations.
Older generations, we like to we see what you do, and if we think it's good, we like to take it for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And Twitter is a good example of that. And Facebook.
And then it becomes not cool, and you have to invent new things.
That's right.
So that's the way it works. That's why elderly people love Facebook, so we can keep up with each other.
Mm-hmm.
All right, look, one more segment of Uncle Henry Show with a full house here. We do continue on Facebook, so you can continue to watch on the News Radio 710 WNTM Facebook page. Back right after a few words from our sponsors and traffic and weather.
Rush Limbaugh.
Hang on, let me check something here real quick.
No distraction can stop the dissemination of truth.
Damn it, screw it.
Today at 11, News Radio 710, WNTM.
Please listen to an important clinical research opportunity. Are you 50 years or older and have been hospitalized recently or plan to be soon? Doctors are looking for volunteers for a research study evaluating an investigational vaccine designed to protect against Clostridium difficile, or C. diff, bacteria that can cause frequent diarrhea, abdominal pain, and inflammation of the colon, which, when severe, can be life-threatening. Patients with increased exposure to healthcare facilities and those who have taken antibiotics are at a higher risk of getting sick. If you have had multiple visits to the emergency room, frequent visits to the doctor, or hospitalizations of at least 2 nights in the last year, you may qualify. To learn more about this study and to see if you qualify, visit clovertrial.com or call 1-877-296-9458. That's www.clovertrial.com or 1-877-296-9458.
Listen to Mo Brooks, a never-Trump politician personally attacking Donald Trump.
I don't think you can trust Donald Trump with anything he says. Donald Trump is the likely loser in that he has alienated so many people in Republican Party ranks through his callous insults. Donald Trump, one candidate that is so belittling, so insulting. I was just asked if I'm going to endorse Donald Trump after things unfold with Donald Trump having this so-called insurmountable lead, and I said, no, I'm not. Donald Trump voters, 12 to 18 months from now, they're going to regret their votes for Donald Trump.
A month before the election, Talk Radio asked Mo Brooks if he was voting for Trump. Brooks responded, I didn't say that.
That means you're going to vote for Donald Trump.
I didn't say that.
Days before the election, Mo Brooks even called Donald Trump evil. Brooks called our president evil. 35-year career politician Mo Brooks, a never-Trump Washington insider. Paid for by Strange for Senate.
I'm Luther Strange, candidate for U.S. Senate. I approve this message.
Smart Home America is a nonprofit set up to help you save money by learning just how to buy the right homeowner's insurance, how to fortify your house, how to be more energy efficient, and more. Learn at smarthomeamerica.org.
Mike Ward's Liberty Safes is proud to be a Liberty Safe dealer, the best home security safe on the market. Locking your firearms in a top-rated Liberty Safe ensures their security from theft and fire. As Americans, we have our Second Amendment right to own guns, but to keep those rights, we need to be responsible and secure our firearms. Do your part to protect your family and friends. Lock them up. Mike Ward's Liberty Safes, Moffett and I-65. Look for the giant yellow safe.
I believe the finest cars in the world are made right here in Alabama. And that's why Mercedes-Benz of Mobile is expanding our team of talented technicians. If you have the drive and skill it takes to be a Mercedes-Benz technician, then we want you to be part of our family. We're offering excellent pay and benefits along with fully air-conditioned parts and service departments. Mercedes-Benz of Mobile is hiring service technicians. Please call 251-472-BENZ. That's 251-472-BENZ.
The music. Music. Take the vocals of Steven Tyler. Add the guitar of Keith Richards. Stir in the drums of Neil Peart. Serving up steaming hot classic rock. 96.1. Yeah! The Rocket.
Well, we're still looking at our accident spot on Moffett Road and Forest Hill. The Mobile Bay Ferry System is operating on the 2 ferry schedule today, accepting trailers and RVs 25 feet and under. No big problems for Bayway drivers this morning, but in Santa Rosa County, Highway 90 remains closed at Harold Street due to a problem involving a train tanker car. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Uber. If there's something you want to do before the summer's over and having some extra money can help, get your side hustle on and drive with Uber. It's a totally easy, flexible way to earn extra cash to help you meet your goals. Sign up today at uber.com/drive now.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Hello, I'm Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Your forecast calls for a hot day today. 96 is our high, 99 is the record. That was set back in 1968. Partly cloudy skies and only a slim chance of a thunderstorm. Should be a quiet night in the mid-70s, and it's hot again on Friday, middle 90s, before cooler, stormy weather moves in Saturday. I'm Jake Dunn for this iHeart Radio station.
This morning at 9, Ask the Expert. Then Rush at 11. Right now, it's Uncle Henry on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Welcome back to the Uncle Henry Show here with John McNeil, Ed Aarons, Virginia McNeil O'Brien. In the last segment of the show, we talked about the social media habits of Mobile's Ivanka, Virginia McNeil O'Brien, and I've got an email. She talked about Twitter, and I thought that her young, influential friends would be all over Twitter. Here's an email about the topic. Subject line on the email is Twitter. Email reads, Mobile is not a Twitter town, but great for following news and journalists. For the financial folks in the studio, The immediacy of the market is covered in real time on Twitter. Virginia and crew probably don't follow the market every second, but it's a great way to see trends and pops. And that email from Johnny Gwynn of johnnygwynn.com.
Yeah, that is the good thing about Twitter. It is we have software and programs that our market updates are real time on our computers. But for a lot of people, they don't realize if you go to different sites and see what the market's doing, it's actually usually about a 15 to 20 minute lag time. So
wow, okay.
Yeah, so if you have to realize when you look at websites, certain finance homepages and things like that, a lot of times it'll say updated, and if you notice, it'll be about 15 to 20 minutes prior. So we have different softwares and things like that show it to us in real time. But yeah, Johnny Gwynn's right. It's pretty immediate as far as because you can literally follow the S&P 500 or the New York Stock Exchange, and it'll just constantly be coming out. So,
do you and your husband constantly look at your phones all the time?
No, we're not. Usually, because we both look at computers all day. So when you get home, it's like you don't really want to. I don't even have my email come to my phone.
You don't?
Unless I'm going to be out of the office.
That is not of your generation.
Yeah,
that is Little House on the Prairie.
Little House on the Prairie.
That's what that is.
I go from Ivanka to
Well, I've never heard of such a thing. Not having your email come to your phone at your age.
If you go out of town or something.
If I go out of town, if I'm going to be But if that's the case, I mean, the team if one of us is out of the office, the team at the office can handle. I have my phone. But if I'm going to be away from the office, if I'm going home at 9 o'clock at night, if somebody sends me an email, there's not much I can do. And when's the last time you got an email back from your doctor at 9 o'clock at night?
All right. Well, wouldn't that be paradise to have your doctor email you at 9 o'clock at night?
No. Obviously something's wrong if he's doing that.
Yeah.
We have the test results.
Okay. Well, you want to know. All right. Well, this has been very educational that you don't have your email to your phone. You're able to draw that line. Mm-hmm. That's a wonderful thing. That's probably part of being a partner. I'm an employee, and they'll say, "You didn't get your email?" So I've got to have the email to the phone.
Yeah. Well, I have a computer at home, so if I need something or anything like that, I can go get it. But to the phone is, I'm going to be, if I don't respond, email is something to me. If you need a response, it needs to be within a 24-hour period, something 12-hour period. If you need a immediate response, you should call somebody, just like a text message.
Yeah, our clients have our cell phone numbers. They can call us.
Mm-hmm. All right. Before we run out of time here, the president has been tweeting. Let me share with you his latest tweets. I will reveal they are not Jeff Sessions related, not yet. He's giving Jeff Sessions a break, at least for now. Tweet 1, he tweets, and it's quotation marks around this. It's a quote, and it's one of the things that has been lost in the politics of this situation is that the Russians collected and spread negative information. The next tweet continues and says, about then candidate Trump, Catherine Herridge at Fox News. So why doesn't fake news report this? Witch hunt, purposely phony reporting. So he was taking his, maybe a daily shot at members of the fake news. So this is a more reassuring tweet.
Reassuring in that he's not mentioning Sessions?
Yes. These are the tweets that I know and love, as opposed to the tweets attacking Jeff Sessions. Mm-hmm. So we'll continue to watch. But today, it's nice to see no anti-Sessions tweets.
I was looking at that. You said that CNN broke. So did Fox about Scaramucci saying something about
financial statements.
Yeah, about Previs, and he's backed off of that. He's not accusing.
He's not accusing. All right.
Or at least he says he's not.
Here's one of the stories. Anthony Scaramucci was on CNN Newsday. And he said something about Reince Priebus saying that the fish stinks from the head down.
Priebus said that, or Scaramucci said?
I think Scaramucci said that. That's almost that we're not used to hearing that from government officials.
No.
But the league's certainly something that's going to have to be done. We did hear that the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, is likely to announce leak investigations maybe next week.
Yeah, there are two of them. I think he said he's already got the goods on somebody, on two of them.
Question: if he does get fired, he's totally out of a job, correct? I mean, because his seat's about to be.
Well, he's already out of there.
Yeah.
He's
So I mean, but
resigned.
he just doesn't have any sort of political. Then he'd just be sort of.
Virginia
hanging out,
McNeil
right?
O'Brien.
I mean, I was thinking about this yesterday. I mean, I don't mean to sound like a dumb question, but then
Well,
he's
no,
just,
it's not a dumb question. Let me tell you what I've been telling listeners for the past several days. We have a governor's race next year.
Oh, that's true.
He could come back and he could run for governor if
Yeah.
he wanted to,
Yeah.
which would irritate all the 20-something people that want to run for governor.
There's going to be a big pool of governor. Yeah, you're right.
So, but yeah, if he wanted to do something, I don't know why somebody would want to be governor, but he could if he wanted to. There's a lot that Jeff Sessions could do if something happened.
Well, when's the cutoff to get into the Senate race?
Well, that's done unless it was some wild write-in campaign.
Okay.
So see, there is a shot he could get back in the Senate.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't count on Alabamians writing somebody in. All right. Out of time. Thank you, John McNeil. It's been very enjoyable.
I've enjoyed it, Uncle Henry.
Ed Aaron's The Duck Joke, always a winner. And we will continue on News Radio 710 WNTM with another hour of McNeil, Aarons, and Lambert. That's coming up. Thank you for listening to The Uncle Henry Show.
You're unique, so why is your mattress one size fits all? Because a custom mattress costs thousands, until now. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, where you can buy a mattress online, customized for you, for hundreds of dollars instead of thousands. Go to HelixSleep.com, answer a few simple questions, and we build you the most comfortable mattress you'll ever sleep on. Shipping is free, and you have 100 nights to try it out. Go to HelixSleep.com/talkradio and get $50 off your order. HelixSleep.com/talkradio.
Not available in all states. Hey, Carl, how is it you're always golfing? I thought you owned a business.
I own a Reese and Irby's robot franchise, Bob. The robots serve 7 flavors of delicious frozen yogurt, and the franchisor secured the best locations for me.
Sounds so easy.
Yep, easiest employees you'll ever have. Where are you going?
To learn more about a Reese and Irby's franchise opportunity.
To learn more, go now to froyofranchising.com and use promo code 9393. That's froyofranchising.com, promo code 9393.